Hey everyone, Firescale Audiobooks here. If there's a novel you'd love to hear more of, you can support us on Patreon or Ko-fi. Depending on your tier, I'll make extra parts just for the stories you're most excited about. Usually I can only upload 4 to 5 parts of each novel, but with your support, we can go beyond that. And of course, don't forget to hit subscribe. It helps more than you know.
Tetsuya was a little surprised to see that the ninja waiting for him at the entrance of the village was actually Hokage Sakuya, but he was still very happy. After all, they were acquaintances and it was easier for them to communicate. I really didn't expect that you would actually take over my commission. Haha, it's a coincidence. I just handed over the last task yesterday and saw a new batch of tasks on the task board. At that time, I wanted to see if there were any more suitable tasks, and I saw the commission you posted at a glance. Sakui also had some surprises. I didn't expect that. Just how long ago you were already planning to open the ramen shop somewhere else? Tetsuya chuckled. It's nothing, although I do have this idea. I don't know yet whether it will be opened or not. I understand that although I don't know how to do business, I heard from people in the family that there are many things to pay attention to in doing business. It is right for you to conduct on-site inspection first. The Hokage family is a pretty big family in Konoha. Naturally, they have some industries under their banner, and these industries are all managed by clan members who are not ninjas. Although he didn't take care of it personally, Sakui also learned some things about this from his tribe. Well, I don't know much about it. After all, I'm the only one left at home. I can only go with my feelings and feel my way around. As he spoke, Tetsuya patted Sakuya's shoulder and extended his right hand to him. Then my safety will depend entirely on you for a long time to come. Please give me your advice. Sakuya held Tetsuya's right hand. Me too, please give me more advice. Haha, let's go. Tetsuya left Konoha with Saku Yoruichi and headed towards the Fire Nation city closest to Konoha. The country of fire is very big, and since it is an inspection, there are many things to consider, so this trip will definitely take a lot of time. Before setting off, Tetsuya was also full of expectations. Although he had left Konoha before, at that time he basically wandered around the battlefield. This time was his first trip to a town outside Konoha, and he was full of curiosity about the towns in the Hokage world. After all, even in anime and comics, there are many plots surrounding the major ninja villages. Except for a few specific plot locations, there is not much display of other towns in this world. However, the greater the hope, the greater the disappointment. When the two arrived at the first town, Tetsuya's eyes almost fell to the ground when he looked at the dilapidated village in front of him. Sakui, is this our first stop? Yeah, what's the problem? Tetsuya looked at the village in front of him without saying a word for a long time. Twists and muddy roads, low thatched houses. The clothes of the people living here can no longer be described as simple. If the pedestrians passing by were not communicating in words, he would have thought that a group of uncivilized primitive people gathered here, but think about it carefully. The Hokage world is a relatively backward world. No, it is not backward, it should be a world with extremely uneven development. What's more, the ninja village system has only been established for more than 20 years now, and the first ninja war has only ended not long ago. Rogue bandits are raging outside the ninja village. A village without the protection of ninjas is naturally extremely backward. If you want to develop, ask the rogue bandits if they will agree and ask the ruling class if they will. Sakuya, it turns out that the world outside the ninja village is so dilapidated. Sakui didn't have much emotion about the scene in front of him, he just said with emotion. In fact, most places in the ninja world are like what we see now. Scenes like our Konoha are extremely rare in this ninja world. Therefore, we can have such a life. We really have to thank the first generation. The first generation was kind-hearted and could not bear to see everyone living a precarious life, so he gathered people to build a village, allowing us to live the life we have now. Tetsuya said, frowning. But the first generation clearly has the ability to change the entire ninja world, so why did he only build a village instead of a country with a complete legal system? Yoruichi was speechless for a moment. He didn't know how to answer this question. You say the first generation didn't have that ability, but the first Hokage and Uchiha Madara did have the power to crush the entire ninja world at that time. You said that people outside the village are none of first Hokage's business, but I just said that first-generation Hokage is kind-hearted. In the end, Sakuya just replied, I don't know, I'm just a ninja, I just need to follow my mission and don't need to think too much. Ji said nothing. For the first time he began to think about this world and this ninja world. The ninja world is one of chaos, exploitation, oppression, plunder, and killing. These words always exist in every corner of the ninja world. Even though Konoha seems to be thriving, it is just Konoha. He still remembered that when he was reading comics before, the scenes that Jiraiya saw when he traveled through the ninja world didn't seem to be much different from what he was seeing now. Sakuya, let's go. Ah, are we leaving here? Well, this place really doesn't seem to be suitable for opening a store. Open a shop, buy things, haha, the people here are lucky enough to be able to barely survive. The two left here and headed to the next town. As they walked through more and more places, the smile on Jay's face became less and less. It's not that he is too chaste to bear to see others suffer. In Jay's cognition, he always respects the fate of others and never interferes in their lives. The reason why he smiled less was that as his knowledge grew, he felt that the main tone of the entire ninja world was depression and despair. He suddenly understood why Jiraiya was so obsessed with finding the child of prophecy and the savior. When a person deeply realizes that the world is sad but cannot be changed, how can he not hope for the appearance of the son of prophecy and the savior? Perhaps only a mysterious figure like the son of prophecy can change such a world. But did Naruto really change the ninja world? Half a year passed quickly and the two people's field trip has come to an end. Jaya, what's wrong with you? Walking on the road back to Konoha, Sakuya looked at Tetsuya with a dull expression and asked, In the past 6 months I've noticed that you smile less and less. Hearing what Sakuya said, Ji rubbed his face and smiled. It's nothing. It's just that this is the first time in my life that I've been away from my village and my home for such a long time. Plus, I feel a little tired from all the traveling. Is that so? Haha, when we get back to the village, how about we go to the hot springs and relax? Of course. Hokage's office. Knock 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 tilde, come in. Third generation master, long time no see. Ah, boss Chiba. Seeing Chiba walking into the office, Sarutobi Hiruzen smiled kindly. Sassy ignored Ghana. After saying hello, Sarutobi Hiruzen put out the cigarette in his pipe and put down the stem. It's been half a year since we last met. How was your field trip to the Fire Nation? Tetsuya smiled and shook his head. To be honest, third generation, I am very disappointed with this field trip. Oh, if it's convenient, could you tell me what happened? Well, actually nothing happened. It's just that the world outside the village is a little different from what I imagined. Seeing Sarutobi Hiruzen showing a curious expression, Tetsuya told Sarutobi what he had seen and heard in the past 6 months. Anyway, after this trip out, I feel that Konoha is much better than the outside world. As for the world outside the village, except for those large cities, I really don't think other places can be called towns. After hearing what Tetsuya said, Sarutobi Hiruzen was also quite emotional. Alas, Boss Chiba, what you see is actually the true face of the ninja world. Third generation master is right, however, this investigation did yield some results. I have confirmed several feasible locations. Haha, really? That's good, that's good. I wish Mr. Kai and I a prosperous business in advance. I'll lend you my good words. Ji also smiled and took out his wallet from his pocket. Let's not talk about this anymore, third generation master. Let me settle the reward for this mission first. Seeing the money, Sarutobi Hiruzen narrowed his eyes and smiled. Haha, no problem. After paying the fee, Tetsuya left the Hokage building, Chiba Ramen Restaurant. Although Tetsuya originally planned to go home and have a good sleep, he decided to take a look when he passed by the ramen restaurant. Welcome. He bent down and bowed to welcome the customers into the store. When he looked up, his eyes widened and he took off his hat excitedly. Ah, it's the boss. Boss, you're back. I'm back. Thank you for your hard work during the past 6 months. Ji also smiled slightly and patted his shoulder. His clone disappeared on the 11th day after he left Konoha. It can be said that he has been running the store with his hands for the past 6 months. It's not hard. My boss taught me the craft and I can help him run the store while improving my craft. This is my blessing. Ji also smiled and said that's a good point. Manual typing is simply the chosen one for workers. By the way, boss, please wait a moment. He ran quickly into the counter and then ran out with an account book. Boss, here are the accounts for the past 6 months, please have a look. Looking at the account book in my hand, it is almost full. Ji also shook his head and pushed the account book back. Don't look at it, I believe you. Seeing that Jay believed in him so much, he bowed deeply to Jay again. Thank you for your trust, boss, Tetsuya smiled. I still like you calling me teacher when you studied with me before. Okay, teacher. Jay took a look at the store, thought for a moment and said, hand type, how about I hand over this store to you from now on? Teacher, what are you doing? Don't get me wrong, Ji also sat down and said, I plan to open a branch in the capital of the Fire Nation. When the branch opens, I can't possibly run back and forth between the two places, right? The teacher is right, the capital is indeed a bit too far from Konoha. So, I plan to make you the store manager of this store in Konoha. Me, I'm the store manager, can I do it well? Didn't you do well in the past 6 months? Really? Haha, well, don't get too happy too early, it will take some time to open a branch. Boss hands, bring me a signature ramen. A familiar figure, the carefree Jirya walked into the store. Oh. Boss Chiba? Jirya immediately opened his mouth when he saw Chiba. Hey, Sashi ignored Kanana. Jirya, Tetsuya smiled and waved. I haven't seen you in half a year, you've grown taller. Boss Chiba, long time no see. I heard that you have been traveling around the land of fire in the past 6 months. Is it fun outside? Jirya looked at Tetsuya curiously. Tetsuya thought for a while and smiled. Jirya, everyone sees the world from a different perspective. Maybe what I think is fun you don't find it fun, so whether it's fun out there I'd better wait until you see it in person. What? I just want to ask you what's going on outside. What do you think Boss Chiba is talking about? Listening to Tetsuya's great truth, Jirya curled his lips. Looking at Jirya like this now, Tetsuya thought of the future Jirya who would search the world for the Son of Destiny and couldn't help but shook his head. Forget it, you want a bowl of signature ramen, right? I'll make it for you myself. Saying that, Tetsuya walked towards the kitchen. Teacher, I'll do it. Shout I wanted to make ramen for Tetsuya, but Tetsuya stopped him. What, you want to take over my job before I even open a branch? No, that's not what I meant. Haha, sit down, I haven't made ramen seriously for a long time, let me do it. Seeing this, I had no choice but to sit down even though I was being beaten. Soon the aroma of ramen wafted from the kitchen. Soon Tetsuya came out with 2 bowls of ramen, one bowl was handed to Jirya and the other was handed to Tada. Teacher, I haven't made ramen for a long time, I didn't control the quantity well so I made a bowl for you. Just give it a try and see if my craftsmanship has deteriorated. Hand nodded and picked up the chopsticks. I'm starting. If he had the skills to do this, Jirya had already taken several bites. Well, as expected of Boss Chiba, the taste is still great. Tetsuya sat aside and watched the 2 eating noodles with a smile. Jirya was making a lot of noise and looked like he hadn't eaten anything serious for a long time. It is estimated that this kid stayed at Mount Mayaboku for a long time, eating insect dishes. The hand-beating movements are much slower and more detailed, as if you are carefully tasting the taste of ramen. I'm done eating. Jirya put down his bowls and chopsticks, licked his lips with satisfaction and patted his belly. I've finished eating too, thank you for the treat. He put down the chopsticks in his hands and said with some emotion, sure enough, my craftsmanship is still not as good as the teacher's. Although I use the same materials, I don't know why the ramen made by the teacher is more delicate and richer in flavor than the one I make. Maybe that's why a teacher is a teacher. Tetsuya smiled and patted his shoulder. What you said means nothing. Okay, when you're full, let's go back to our homes. It's time to rest. It's time for me to go home, Boss Chiba. Boss, goodbye. Jirya waved his hand and left the ramen shop. Ji also left the job of closing the store to Shu-da and left first. Time flies and another half-year has passed. In this half-year, Tetsuya's branch was successfully opened in the capital of the Land of Fire. On the day of the opening, it was also quite lively. Tetsuya directly invited many Konoha ninjas to help and cheer. The ramen shop favored by ninjas immediately attracted the attention of many people in the capital. Coupled with top-notch ramen craftsmanship, it can be said that Chiba Ramen Shop became an instant hit. Of course, as a time traveler, I am naturally full of sophistication and sophistication. On the second day after the opening, Tetsuya sent VIP cards to the ramen shop to the nobles in the capital and launched a top-notch luxury ramen specifically for these nobles. The taste may not be any better than ordinary ramen, but these are not important. What is important is the luxury, the specialness, and the expensive price. What are these nobles thinking in their minds? It is naturally different and unique. Originally, he was thinking that during the period when the new store just opened, he would have to promote it and offer discounts to increase its popularity, and he was already prepared to lose money. Unexpectedly, several nobles arrived and ordered a series of luxury packages, making money immediately. As night fell, Tetsuya was sitting in his house in the capital, counting the piles of banknotes in his hands, and his eyes almost turned into the shape of money. That's great. As expected, these nobles are really too rich. If not, I'll just go and rob them. How can I make more money? With my current strength, I can rob a wave of nobles faster than anything else. However, after just thinking about it, Jay shook his head and gave up his crazy idea. He can't do this. These nobles are blood-sucking bugs lying on the bodies of civilians. If he robs the money of these nobles, then these nobles will inevitably increase various tax burdens in order to make money quickly, and it will be the common people who suffer in the end. If you do this, what is the difference between them and those nobles who suck the blood of ordinary people? It is just one more step from squeezing the common people yourself to using the nobles to squeeze the common people. Then what have you become? A celestial dragon in the world of One Piece, a noble among nobles. How about killing all these nobles, kill them all? It still doesn't work, the ninja world itself is in ruins. If all the nobles are killed, the Fire Nation will probably fall into war the next day. Tetsuya sighed. He knew that the nobles of these 5 major countries and those small countries were somewhat related to each other. If he killed all the nobles of the Fire Country, other countries would definitely invade the Fire Country in the name of revenge, and then divide this most fertile land. When the time comes, the war will be all over the sky and the same people will suffer in the end. Tetsuya fell on the bed. Hashirama, why didn't you and Ban change the entire ninja world? My dear master, do you want to have the power to change the ninja world? Tetsuya, who was still a little emotional at first when he heard this mean voice, all the emotion, compassion, and pain in the ninja world disappeared. There was only anger towards Erha. You be ***ch, what do you want to do? Do you still want to steal Leazi's money? Let me tell you, my new store has just opened and money is everywhere. Oh, master, money is something external to the body. Don't you want to change the entire ninja world? Don't you think it is a very fulfilling thing to transform the ninja world into what you imagined? Tetsuya couldn't help but roll his eyes. If you have something to say it quickly. If you have something to say it quickly. Don't take down the flag here. Oh, my dear master, isn't it easy to become stronger? Draw cards. Roll. No, dear master, money is an external possession. What can you do with it? Can it still produce cubs? Hey, you are really right. Money really can make money. In the end, under Erha's hard work, Jay still spent a fortune, but this time he didn't draw the big wheel directly but drew the ninja fragment. Because Tetsuya knows that if you really want to make something or change something in this ninja world, it is not enough to rely on yourself. Pain is awesome, why don't you have to establish the Akatsuki organization? In the 6 Paths class, Kaguya is awesome but she still got beaten. Looking at Uchiha Izuna's 37% fragment collection progress, Tetsuya sighed. Is it only 37%? Don't worry, I have plenty of time. The big deal is just wait a little longer. The business of the ramen shop is getting more and more prosperous with early publicity and a little bit of human sophistication. The Chiba ramen shop became famous in the capital and even some outsiders heard about it. After all, it is frequented by the nobles of the capital, and these nobles have attracted a lot of popularity to Chiba ramen. The nobles led the wealthy businessmen, and the wealthy businessmen led the wealthy people who ran businesses outside, and the wealthy people spread the reputation of Chiba Ramen Shop to further places. Chiba Ramen was forced to become a high-end luxury brand. Ji also seized this opportunity and began to continuously expand the store and engage in fine decoration. The store expanded, and Tetsuya also started buying exquisite and luxurious food besides ramen. After all, when he first obtained the cup noodle manufacturing formula and production machine, Jaya also obtained a lot of other things. It's really tiring. Looking at the hotel in front of him, Jaya also wiped his sweat. In 1 year, Tetsuya turned the ramen shop into the Chiba Hotel. Looking at the splendid decoration in front of me, the dignitaries coming and going, even the hotel waiters are wearing expensive clothes that ordinary people outside would not dare to think of. Tetsuya could only sigh, this world is so damn unfair. The common people in the ninja world are still digging in the fields, and the consumption of one meal by these nobles from the capital is enough for ordinary people to live for a long time. Boss Chiba, you've just been sitting here all morning, can you still call yourself tired? The young man on the side asked questions. He glanced at Tetsuya helplessly, then shook his head. Hey, you can't say that, Izuna, just sitting here is hard for me. After all, entertaining those high-ranking officials, nobles, and so on is very tiring, right? Ji also stretched out and sat back on the luxurious mahogany seat. After all, if we accidentally fail to entertain these gentlemen or if we offend any noble, then our hotel will not need to be opened and our head may not be saved. Listening to Tetsuya's words, Izuna couldn't help but twitch the corners of her eyes. Your head is in danger, Boss Chiba, I'm really curious. Who in this ninja world can make you lose your head? Izuna was a little helpless. It was clear that the Chiba boss who had brought her back to the ninja world from the Pure Land and made her alive again was too strong. But he doesn't have the demeanor of a strong man at all. He always has the image of a money lover who follows the crowd and loves money as much as his life. To be honest, if he hadn't fought against the boss of Chiba no less than 10 times and was defeated by the opponent who was half a move ahead every time, he would have really thought that the person in front of him was just an ordinary hotel owner. If a person can defeat himself no less than 10 times in a row, then this person may be a master, such as his brother Uchiha Madara. However, even his brother Uchiha Madara cannot guarantee that he will only be half a move ahead every time he is defeated. But Boss Chiba is able to control himself within half a move every time and defeat himself. If it happens once or twice, then it can be said to be good luck, or it can be said that he is just a little stronger than me. But if this is the result no less than 10 times in a row, then judging from Izuna's experience, there is only one possibility. That is, Boss Chiba is much more powerful than him. He is so powerful that no matter what he does, he can defeat him in half a move. Boss Chiba, there is one thing I don't understand. Oh, how many times have I told you, don't always call me boss, just call me Jay. Tetsuya waved his hand and looked curiously at Izuna, who had spent a lot of his savings to successfully revive him. If he hadn't turned Chiba Ramen into the Chiba Hotel and attracted those rich people to spend a lot of money, he might not have been able to successfully resurrect Izuna in such a short period of time. What's wrong? What don't you understand? Tetsuya, why are you so strong but you choose to stay here and be a businessman? Izuna asked, the doubts in his heart. With your strength you can definitely build a career outside. Work hard to make a career. Tetsuya smiled and shook his head. Izuna, it's been a while since you were resurrected. Haven't you realized that the ninja world now is different from that time? The Warring States period is over and now is the era of ninja villages. The 5 major countries all have their own ninja villages, and even some small countries also have their own ninja villages. If you go out now and claim a piece of land for yourself as you did back then, you will inevitably be attacked by ninjas. As he spoke, he dipped his fingers in tea and drew a map of the ninja world on the valuable solid wood table. And the daimyo of these big countries are all related to each other. Even if you are strong enough to fight against one ninja village, what about 2? What about 3? Izuna was silent. He was also thinking. He was thinking about the difference between this era and his own era in the past. Seeing Izuna thinking seriously, Tetsuya smiled. So, times have changed. What do you think the big families fought for in the past? Wasn't it for money and resources? Look at me now, don't I still have money and resources? But Boss Chiba, you already make a lot of money now, right? Oh, who can have too much money? Moreover, I am different from you. Money has a special use for me. For example, you were resurrected by me with money. Tetsuya asked rhetorically, don't you want to see your brother come back to life? Or, I can help you resurrect that guy Taburama and let you teach him a lesson. Resurrection brother. Hearing Tetsuya say that he could resurrect his brother Uchiha Madara, Izuna's eyes suddenly widened. Of course, it would have been better if Tetsuya hadn't mentioned that unlucky name just now. You can really resurrect my brother. Of course, why did I lie to you? Haven't you already died once and come back to life? Izuna was a little excited. Yes, if she could be resurrected, then her brother could also be alive. Izuna was very happy at the thought of being able to see her brother again. However, despite being excited, he was also a little confused. Tetsuya, if it's convenient, can you tell me how you resurrected me? As he spoke, he glanced at Tetsuya and immediately added, of course, if it's inconvenient, forget it. It's nothing inconvenient, this is my innate ability. As long as I have enough money, I can do many things that ordinary people think are impossible, such as resurrecting the dead. Is there such a limit to blood inheritance in this world? Izuna's eyes widened, feeling a little incredible. As the second in command of the Uchiha family, he knew that in this ninja world there were many special blood-stained abilities that relied on blood inheritance. But this was the first time he had heard of the ability to gain abilities or resurrect dead people by consuming money. Well, bloodstains are just bloodstains as long as you can roughly understand what they mean. While the two were chatting, a group of samurai walked into the store. After these warriors entered the store, they did not go straight to the front desk but lined up left and right at the door. The two of them walked in quickly and spread a red carpet on the ground. With such a big pomp, Jay immediately understood who was coming. He gave Izuna a look, indicating that he should go to the back first, and then came to the door in person. I saw an aristocratic young master getting off the carriage outside the door first, and then I saw the young master helping a gorgeously dressed woman in a kimono to get out of the carriage. This noble young master's face was filled with the desire to please. Miss Yukiko, be careful of the steps. The good woman named Mikiko walked into the hotel on the red carpet, swaying her coquettish waist. Young Master Nakamura is here, I am really honored. Seeing the two people entering the hotel, Tetsuya, the boss, also greeted them personally. Nakamura also smiled and said hello. Boss Chiba, excuse me, this is Miss Mikiko, the newly elected courtesan of Hanadachi town. I paid a lot of money to get Miss Mikiko to have dinner with me. I thought of it immediately. Boss Chiba, please help me make arrangements. Oh my, this is the newly elected Warren lady. I'm disrespectful. Now that you two have come to my place, I will definitely entertain you two well. As he spoke, Tetsuya carefully looked at the Warren lady from the corner of his eye for a while. It should be said that I don't want to sleep. Nakamura, a rich second generation, is really good at aesthetics. This Warren needs a good face and a good figure. The waist is thin, the legs are long, the front is convex and the back is curved, the skin is fair and the eyebrows are affectionate. You two, please come with me, please come to the private room. As he spoke, Tetsuya made a gesture of invitation and then gave a thumbs up where only Nakamura could see it. Nakamura smiled even more proudly. However, Tetsuya also noticed that Mikiko seemed to have noticed their little moves. After leading the two of them into the private room, Jaya asked someone to arrange for good wine and food before he left. As soon as he returned to the front hall, Tetsuya saw Izuna walking up to him and he grinned. That boy from Nakamura is here again, and I have to say this time he really brought something amazing. However, the first words Izuna spoke made Tetsuya stunned. That woman, if I read correctly, she should be from the Kingdom of Thunder. Ah, why? You can't just think that the other party is from the Kingdom of Thunder just because she has two big thunders. Tetsuya shrugged. Although most women in the Kingdom of Thunder are quite plump, it is not the case in the Kingdom of Fire. Look at Tsunade and Hinata, for example. Hearing Tetsuya's words, Izuna's expression almost tensed up. I just noticed that there is a special tattoo on her back. Isn't it just a tattoo? How come it's as if people from the land of fire don't do tattoos? Besides, she's in courtesan, a geisha. Aren't geishas usually have such colorful things on their backs? No, the same, Izuna explained. I saw that hidden among those traditional tattoos of the Warren is a traditional faith symbol of the land of thunder. Really? Are you sure you read it correctly? Are you questioning our Uchiha clan's Sharingan? Alas, you use Sharingan to look at beauties. Tetsuya, your attention is so weird. I said that person might be a spy from the Kingdom of Thunder. Why are all your attention focused on those weird places? What happened? Tetsuya shrugged indifferently. She's just a spy, I'm not a ninja. What's the point of worrying about this as long as she doesn't affect my business? You. Izuna didn't know what to say for a moment. Yes, Tetsuya is not a ninja. Even if the opponent is a spy, it really has nothing to do with him. Izuna, please relax a little, your time has passed. Tetsuya yawned and walked outside. Even the current Uchiha clan doesn't have much to do with you. When your brother chose to leave Konoha, no one in the Uchiha chose to follow him. The Uchiha of Konoha doesn't have much to do with you, the Uchiha of the Warring States, period. Looking at Tetsuya's back, Izuna fell into deep thought. He felt that Tetsuya was right. As a resurrected dead person, there was almost no one in the entire ninja world who had anything to do with him. He didn't have much affection for an unknown Konoha ninja village, a family that betrayed his brother, or even the current Fire Country. Among the luxurious suites, Nakamura has fallen into gentleness and cannot extricate himself. Master Nakamura, hey Miss Mikiko. Master Nakamura, do you really love the new family? Of course, Miss Mikiko, I fell deeply in love with you when I first saw you. Then Master Nakamura is willing to pay for the slave family. Of course I do, I'm willing to give everything for Miss Mikiko. Master Nakamura. Mikiko snuggled into Nakamura's arms and she raised her head lovingly. Look into your slave's eyes. Miss Mikiko. Nakamura lowered his head and looked at Mikiko. The next moment, a special chakra was activated. In just a moment, Nakamura was controlled by Mikiko. Huh, stupid Fire Nation fat pig, you make me feel sick. After successfully controlling Nakamura, Mikiko instantly seemed like a different person. He put away his flattery and became more heroic. The controlled Nakamura knelt on the ground like a slave. I'm sorry for making you feel sick, master. You don't need to apologize. Mikiko stood up and stepped on Nakamura's head with her foot. You will work for me for the rest of your life. I will help you secure your position as the patriarch of the Nakamura family, and you and your entire family need to obey my orders. Yes, master. Okay, from now on, you should remain normal in front of outsiders. On the first floor, sitting on his luxurious solid wood chair, he suddenly looked up at the luxurious suite where Nakamura was. The eyes suddenly turned into blood. In the blood-colored pupils, the Magatama rotated and finally connected together, forming a special pattern. Yes, his eyes are exactly those of Izuna's Mangekyo. The clever trick that Tetsuya spent so much money on is naturally not as simple as simply resurrecting Izuna. While resurrecting Izuna, he also gained all of Izuna's abilities. Ninjutsu, swordsmanship, genjutsu, and the Sharingan that the Uchiha clan is most proud of. This is still a pair of Mangekyo. After all, spending so much money is not a big loss. After all, you get a lot of things, but it can't be said that it is very profitable. After all, Tetsuya is not short of ninjutsu. Although Sharingan's genjutsu is indeed powerful, the genjutsu he learned from Wang Tai Sin is not bad either. The only ones that are more useful are swordsmanship and Sharingan. Through this pair of Mangekyo Sharingan, Tetsuya saw a special chakra fluctuation emerge in the luxurious private room. Haha, can't you help but start taking action now? People from the Kingdom of Thunder are really impatient. Izuna on the side didn't pay attention to the Sharingan in Tetsuya's eyes that looked exactly like his own. He still couldn't help but ask, are you really not going to take care of it? If a war breaks out, your business will also be affected. Tetsuya waved his hand nonchalantly. Don't worry, the war is still early, at least in the next few years it will definitely not start. As he spoke, he laughed. Besides, do you think the Fire Nation has spies from the Thunder Nation, but the Thunder Nation doesn't have the Fire Nation spies? Don't forget, Konoha's current Hokage is a good disciple of Senju Tobirama. Do you think Tobirama's disciple will be some idiot with no brains? HMPH, that insidious, cunning, inherently evil Senju Tobirama, the disciples taught by a B********* D like him are definitely not good people either. Listening to Izuna's little words, he couldn't help but click his tongue. Otherwise, you and Tobirama are old enemies. Your behavior is no different from when Tobirama scolded Uchiha. So we don't need to worry about this kind of thing. We are businessmen. No matter who he is, as long as he can take care of our business, he is our customer, right? As he spoke, Tetsuya took out a handful of melon seeds from his pocket and started eating them. He said while eating melon seeds, "Besides, I'm counting on Nakamura and Miss Mikiko to take care of my business." The two of them chatted from the topic of spies to other things. Tetsuya curiously asked Izuna about some of their secrets back then. Anyway, idle time is idle, she just listens to it and enjoys it. But soon the two of them chatted from the Warring States period to an even longer period. When the conversation got interesting, Tetsuya also started chatting and started telling Izuna about some Hokage unofficial history that he had read online. For example, Hagoromo and Hamura are both brothers and lovers. But Otsutsuki Kaguya doesn't approve of their relationship. After all, no one wants to see that she has two big fat boys but she still has no children. Tetsuya sat there and talked about unofficial history with Izuna, from the passionate love of the two brothers Hamura Hagoromo to the love and hatred between Asura and Indra, and from the mythical era to the ninja sect era. Perhaps Tetsuya's words were so nonsense that Izuna was so confused that he didn't even refute, just sat there and listened. Let me tell you, the old man from Six Paths is biased. When he wanted to select the successor, he proposed an assessment for his two sons to complete. This inheritance assessment was clearly aimed at Asura and Indra. Indra completed the assessment alone according to the rules, while Asura completed it with the help of others. Logically speaking, Asura should have violated the rules, but Six Paths layout and backhandedly said to Indra, "Indra, you don't understand love, you don't understand unity," and finally chose Asura. Tell me what's going on. Is it because Six Paths is being unreasonable? Forehead. Listening to Tetsuya's bragging, even Izuna, who had always been calm and collected, couldn't help but speak. Although you are not a ninja, Tetsuya, you also practice chakra. Isn't it inappropriate to say Sage of Six Paths like this? Hey, what's this? Jay waved his hands indifferently, took a sip of tea, and then spit out the tea foam without any image. I'm just talking casually. Besides, old Pai Yanzi from Six Paths is no longer here. Why, can he still come out of the Pure Land and beat me? Well, Sage of Six Paths, he is really in the Pure Land. As a soul returning from the Pure Land, although he has not seen the Sage of Six Paths, he has heard from the souls in the Pure Land that the Sage of Six Paths does exist. Okay, I said it's okay. If he really comes out and hits me, doesn't it mean that I'm right and he's anxious? If I'm not right, then why is he anxious? While the two were chatting, Nakamura and Mikiko upstairs supported each other and walked down the stairs. It looked like Nakamura was drunk, but other than that there was nothing wrong with him. However, Mikiko's makeup was a little messed up and there were some red marks on her neck, as if the whole village had done something to him. Both Tetsuya and Izuna could tell at a glance that Nakamura had been controlled by genjutsu. Although this kind of genjutsu is very hidden, no matter how secretive genjutsu is, it is all vain in front of Sharingan. And the traces on Mikiko's body are just disguises. After all, he was alone in a room with the famous playboy. It would be strange if nothing happened, but Jaya didn't care. He just smiled and came forward to say hello. You too, have you ever eaten and drank well? Mikiko said nothing and Nakamura said drunkenly. Ah ha ha ha, I don't have to mention the food and wine that boss Chiba added. I'll give it as a reward. With a word of reward, the guard who had been waiting at the door immediately stepped forward and took out a banknote and placed it on the table. After taking a look at the numbers on the banknote, Jay's smile became even brighter. Oh, thank you, Mr. Nakamura, for the reward. Ha ha ha, it's easy to say, and I'll be rewarded for doing well. Nakamura laughed loudly and looked like he was wealthy. Anyway, all his expenses were borne by the Nakamura family. Master Nakamura drank too much, it's time to go back and rest. Mikiko spoke at the right time, indicating that it was time for Nakamura to leave. Tetsuya smiled. You two, go slowly and come back when you have time. Don't worry, I understand all the rules. No one else will know what happens in the room. As he spoke, Tetsuya glanced at the red mark on Mikiko's neck, and the guards also lowered their heads. As guards, it was their basic rule not to look at what they shouldn't look at. But Mikiko realized something. A strange look flashed in her eyes, but she quickly covered it up and left with Nakamura. Young man, you're having a lot of fun. Watching Nakamura and Mikiko leave, Tetsuya shook his head. Izuna said while crossing her hands. It seems that the other party wants to control the Nakamura family by controlling the young master of the Nakamura family. It is estimated that the next thing they have to do is to support the young master of the Nakamura family to succeed as the head of the family. Fine. Tetsuya took out an abacus from behind the counter and started playing with it. Although the Nakamura family has a certain status in the capital, in the final analysis it is just a second-rate family. Click tilde. With all the abacus beads back in place, Tetsuya looked at Izuna and said, "This is the capital of the Kingdom of Fire. Everything is lacking here except for nobles and wealthy people. A second-rate family can only help the Kingdom of Thunder or Union Village to get some money or resources at most. Nothing major can be changed. After all, the real power in the Fire Country is the daimyo and the first-class nobles who are close to the daimyo. You, a second-rate family, are nothing. Hanamichi No. 1 is the top kabukicho in the capital." At this moment, two masked ninjas appeared in front of Mikiko's room. These two ninjas were tall and did not look like they were from the country of fire. Although they did not wear forehead protectors on their heads, one could basically guess that they were from the country of thunder. "Have you investigated the hotel owner's background clearly?" "Sir, the investigation has been completed." "Explain." "The hotel owner's name is Tetsuya Chiba, the only child of the Chiba family in Konoha. He chose to go into business because he didn't have the qualifications to become a ninja. I originally opened a ramen restaurant in Konoha, but later the business became prosperous, so I came to the capital to open a branch." These two ninjas investigated in great detail. They also found out how Kong Ji also went from a small ramen restaurant in Konoha to the largest restaurant in the capital of the Land of Fire. After all, these things are not secrets. Anyone who finds an older resident in the capital can tell them. As for the guys in his shop, the chef was trained by Tetsuya Chiba himself, and most of the others were recruited from locals. Mikiko frowned slightly. A down-and-out ninja clan's only child who has no ninja qualifications, so he chooses to go into business. "Yes, sir, my subordinates have investigated and found that the Chiba family was indeed one of the many families that followed Senju Hashirama back then. After Senju Hashirama established the Konoha ninja village, most of them died. Only Chiba Tetsuya, who cannot refine chakra and cannot become a ninja, is left. According to the tradition of the Chiba family, if Chiba Tetsuya could also practice, he would have died on the battlefield long ago. Judging from the results of the investigation, this Chiba Tetsuya seems to be an ordinary person, not even a ninja. But her intuition told her that this Chiba Ji was not simple either. No, I still think there is something wrong here. Find an opportunity to try this Chiba Tetsuya again to see if he is a ninja. Yes, too. As night fell, Jay lay in his room and practiced with his eyes closed. My cheat sheet is really unreliable. After receiving various rewards, Kaka suddenly realized that he could learn all kinds of ninjutsu secret techniques in just 1 second. But as a damn Erha, the things he gave me were basically scrolls. I still have to learn the ninjutsu on the scroll bit by bit, except for physical things like the evil god's undead body and fire-style ninjutsu enhancement, before I can give it directly. But fortunately, he still has some talent for learning ninjutsu. Coupled with the long life of his evil god's immortal body, learning ninjutsu is really not difficult. As long as it is not the kind of ninjutsu restricted by blood, theoretically he can learn all the ninjutsu in this ninja world. Tetsuya, who was practicing sage jutsu with his eyes closed, suddenly sensed abnormal natural energy fluctuations in nature. Suddenly he opened his eyes and knew that someone was coming. Haha, why are you so stimulated by what I said during the day that you don't worry about letting someone come to find out the details? Before Tetsuya could take action, another figure appeared directly on the roof. It's Izuna. Apparently, Izuna also discovered that someone had evil intentions. As a ninja who was active during the Warring States period, Izuna's perception of danger is better than many people of this era. This is an instinct he developed in a dangerous and chaotic era like the Warring States period. Obviously, those two stupid guys haven't realized that the danger has quietly arrived. Just when Izuna was about to kill the two thieves directly, Tetsuya's voice sounded in his ears. Leave them both alive, use genjutsu to control them and bring them here for fun. Seeing that Tetsuya had already spoken, Izuna didn't say anything more and directly activated the teleportation technique and appeared directly in front of the two little idiots. Before the two little idiots realized what was going on, they felt something suddenly appear in front of them and subconsciously raised their heads. Just when they raised their heads, a pair of scarlet Sharingan came into their eyes. They saw the three Magatama in the Sharingan rotating and connecting into a special pattern. Sharingan Genjutsu is activated, and with Izuna's powerful eye power, it is not easy to control two ninjas of average strength. HMPH, stupid ninjas from the Kingdom of Thunder who gave you the courage. Izuna snorted coldly, turned around and led the two of them towards Tetsuya's room. Coming. Seeing Izuna walking into the room with two masked ninjas, he smiled and said hello. If you don't kill these two guys, what else will you do with them? Tetsuya tilted his head and smiled. Of course I'm asking for information. Aren't you a ninja? Don't you know what to do in this situation? Izuna pouted. Of course I know, but people like this probably don't know any important information. What else can you ask from their mouths? Hee, I know. Don't I also want to experience what it's like to be a ninja? Don't you think it's interesting to torture information or something like that? Really, I don't think so. Izuna said somewhat proudly. In front of these eyes, no information can be hidden. Indeed, Sharingan, one-handed genjutsu, unless the other party is prepared in advance, is much more convenient in terms of interrogating information than the Yamanaka family's secret technique. Use genjutsu to control your opponent and then ask directly what you want to know without fear that the opponent will deceive you. But Tetsuya didn't care and came to the two masked ninjas. Who are you? Who sent you? The two ninjas replied respectfully. We are from Union Village. Lord Akai sent us here to find out the details of Chiba Tetsuya. Oh, Akai, Ji also fumbled down with great interest. Who is this Akai? Is it the courtesan Mikiko? Yes, Akai-sama is the special Jonin of our cloud-hidden village responsible for lurking missions. Mikiko is Akai-sama's code name for lurking in the land of fire. Hey, that's really awesome. Izuna, did you hear that? That Warren is really from the Kingdom of Thunder. You have such good taste. Izuna raised her chin proudly. I said don't question me, I am Uchiha. There is nothing that is invisible to Uchiha's Mangekyo. Tetsuya ignored the proud Izuna and continued to ask. Then why is that Akai of yours lurking in the land of fire? What is your purpose? We don't know much about this either. We only know that the village has formulated a series of detailed plans which are related to the development and future of our Union village. After the end of the Ninja World War, because Second Hokage died, Second Hokage strongly demanded a large amount of compensation from us, Cloud Shadow, regarding the Golden Horn and Silver Horn. This seriously affected our Cloud Shadow's development. To this end, our senior leaders in Union have formulated a series of plans, including plans to undercover major countries. These two stupid ninjas told each other all the information they knew and they had no secrets at all. After listening to what the two of them said, Jaya basically understood the thoughts of Union Village. In this first ninja war, their village, Kumigakure, did not gain any benefit at all. Because of Jin Jiao and Yin Jiao's troubles and their own intervention, the surviving second generation killed Kumo Gakure in a big way. With the character of the gangsters in Union Village, can you bear it? You can't bear it even a little bit. But a war has just ended, and even if they want to cause trouble, they don't have the ability. However, although they cannot cause trouble immediately, it does not prevent them from taking some small actions in advance to prepare for trouble in the future. So they formulated a series of plans and then placed undercover agents in various countries to collect intelligence information to prepare for the next trouble, which was the Second Ninja War. These reckless men from the Kingdom of Thunder really can't live in peace at all. They have to cause something to happen. As the second in command of the Uchiha clan during the Warring States period and responsible for the wisdom of the Uchiha clan, Izuna naturally took out the opponent's purpose. The war has only ended and they are already planning for the next war. Normally, when will the ninja world be truly peaceful? Before the establishment of the ninja village, the major ninja families continued to fight for years. Only a dozen years after the establishment of the ninja village, the First Ninja World War broke out. 20 years after World War I was World War II, and only 10 years after World War II ended, World War III broke out. After the three wars, the ninja world finally stabilized, but this was only a superficial stability. Under the illusion of stability, undercurrents were still surging until the prince, Naruto, grew up and participated in the Fourth Ninja War. What are you going to do with these two guys? Izuna watched Tetsuya use genjutsu to play with the two ninjas from the Land of Thunder in front of him, and he didn't quite understand Tetsuya's thoughts. Now that you have obtained the information you need from these two guys, you can just kill these two people and leave them to do something else. What to do with it, of course, send it back. Send it back? Hearing this, Izuna asked subconsciously. Are you going to let them go back to work as undercover agents? Yeah, don't you think it's fun to do this? Tetsuya looked at the two ninjas from the Kingdom of Thunder in front of him and suddenly felt that these two guys had become cute. With the two of them here, it should add a bit of fun to the boring life ahead. As he said this, he suddenly thought of something and looked up at Izuna. By the way, if I use genjutsu to control them, will they be seen? Haha, are you looking down on our Uchiha clan genjutsu? Izuna gave a sneer typical of the Uchiha clan. We, the Uchiha clan genjutsu, unless we encounter ninjas like Grandmaster Genjutsu, most people will not be able to see the problem at all. As far as I know, there is no Grandmaster Genjutsu among those reckless people in Kumigakure village. Really, then help me give these two guys a hint, saying that they have found out the truth and that I am just an ordinary person with no power. Then let them find an opportunity to inform me about what actions Aki made, as well as what movements there were in the Kingdom of Thunder. Although Izuna didn't know what Tetsuya wanted to do, he applied genjutsu to the two of them and sent them back to the roof again. The cold wind blew by and the two people controlled by genjutsu suddenly woke up. Let's go! Now that we've investigated clearly, let's go back. Good, the two of them didn't have the slightest doubt. After all, Sharingan was really an extremely heaven-defying existence in the ninja world. Moreover, the one who applied genjutsu to them was Uchiha Sengoku's second-in-command who possessed Mangekyo, the ninja Uchiha Izuna who was said to have no flaws. The days seemed to have settled down just like that. Izuna's genjutsu is very reliable, and the two idiot ninjas who are being controlled will pass on some information through some special methods from time to time. However, this information is indeed a bit boring and it is all irrelevant information. Seeing these two idiots always passing on irrelevant information so frequently, such as what color pants Akai wore today, whether he wore underwear today, etc., Tetsuya was annoyed and a little impatient. I know what these are for. Think of yourself as an old pervert like Sarutobi Hiruzen and Jirya, but since it was sent over, let's take a look. After all, I also lack some entertainment items at this time, so I just look at entertainment magazines to relieve my boredom. Time flies so fast, Jaya has finally taken root in the capital. However, he is still thinking about plans to open branches and cup noodles sales. During this period, Tetsuya only went back to Konoha a few times. One time I got married by hand. As a teacher, I had to go back and see if it was okay. Taito is only a little younger than Tetsuya, but getting married at this age is relatively late in the generally precocious ninja world. You know, Uchiha class and others have already started killing enemies on the battlefield when they were only a few years old. On the day of Shu-De's wedding, quite a few people came to Tetsuya and said they wanted to marry him. After all, Tetsuya is now more than just a single member of the declining ninja clan. The people in Konoha naturally know about the prosperous business he has done in the capital of the Land of Fire. As a wealthy civilian, it is natural that many people are interested in him. There were several people talking about getting married every day, and in the end there was nothing he could do. So Tetsuya ran to the Hokage office and made a request to ask Sarutobi Hiruzen to help stop these crazy people. Originally, Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't want to get involved in these matters. After all, he also felt that if Tetsuya could get married, it would be best to marry someone from the village so that he could be bound to Konoha by fetters. If Konoha needs anything in the future, he can lend a helping hand, but after seeing the commission money that Tetsuya took out, he felt that as a Hokage, the shadow of a village, he should help villagers in need solve their problems. Besides, although Tetsuya is quite rich now compared with the ninja clan of Konoha, he is still far behind. After all, Tetsuya is only one person and he has only been running a business for a few years. The ninja clan of Konoha had their own heritage before the village was founded. Another year passed when he returned to Konoha for the second time and his son was born. Jay looked at the child in his wife's arms and felt quite emotional. After all, this person is a key figure in Konoha in the future, an important guiding light on the prince's dark life path, and the controller of Konoha's designated safe zone. The owner of Ikaraku Ramen Shop, Ikaraku, the man called Otsutsuki Ikaraku by netizens. It is said that the reason why Ikaraku squinted his eyes was because his eyes were the legendary 9 Magatama Samsara eyes. But when Tetsuya saw his hand beating the baby in his wife's arms, he knew that the so-called Otsutsuki Ikaraku was just a joke. "Teacher, this child doesn't have a name yet. Please ask the teacher to give the child a name." "Ah, shall I come up with a name?" Ji was a little surprised. He didn't expect that Shu-Do would let him name his son. Hand nodded. "Yes, my wife and I no longer have any elders at home, but luckily I still have a teacher, so please ask the teacher to name our child." That's it. To be honest, he used to let Shu-De call him teacher just for fun. After getting along for so long, the relationship between him and Shu-De was more like friends and brothers. But elder brothers are like fathers after all, neither he nor Shu-De have any relatives. Then, let's call him Yael from now on. I hope this child will be happy every day in the future and have no worries. Yael, good name, thank you teacher. Thank you teacher. Haha, son, your name will be Yael from now on. I hope you will be happy every day. Seeing the happy look of Shu-De's family, Ji couldn't help but sigh, it's so beautiful. But the next moment, Jay felt that it was not so wonderful. Teacher, you are 1 year older than me. When do you plan to get married? Do you have someone you like? Teacher has been in the capital for several years, so he should know a lot of girls in the capital. As he spoke, Jay's face darkened. Hand beating, why didn't I notice it before? Your mouth seems to be poisoned. Tetsuya went back a few times later, but just to have a look, and by the way, he completely handed over the ramen shop in Konoha to the hand, and changed the name of the Chiba ramen shop to Ikaraku Ramen. After all, Tetsuya felt that there would be no problem if Konoha lost the Chiba ramen shop, but if there was no Ikaraku ramen shop, it would lose some flavor. After so many years, Jaya accumulated a lot of wealth, but he did not choose to resurrect a certain person. After all, his dog system is really a scam, and the person he arranged for his second clever move was Senju Tabarama. If Senju Tabarama is not drawn out, then this masterstroke will not update the next character. But at this stage, he doesn't really want to resurrect Senju Tabarama. After all, this guy is very arrogant. After being resurrected, he will definitely return to Konoha to help Konoha develop. Even if he restricted him from returning to Konoha, he would probably find a way to get in touch with Konoha and then help Konoha. This kid Tabarama has a lot of tricks up his sleeve. You might be able to come up with some bad ideas. After not spending money for a long time, Jay also started the carousel lottery again under Guzi's hard work. A big spend. Nowadays, Jay's strength has improved a lot again. Name, Chiba Tetsuya. Identity, Fire Nation businessman physique, evil god immortal body, fire style ninjutsu strengthening immortal body, Manjikayo sharing an eye technique, Suzunu Chang Heng divine kingdom yun gauging. Skills, chakra refining technique, chakra sealing techniques, clone technique, shadow clone technique. Substitution technique, transformation technique, psychic technique, 8 sign seal, lightning style, chakra mode, dispelling technique, fire style, fire, dragon bullet, fire style, go, fire extinguishment, water style, water, dragon bullet, lightning style, thunder plow, hot knife, lightning style, lateral bolt of pain, earth style, earth, dragon bullet, earth style, yellow, spring, marsh, shuriken, clone technique. Wind release, vacuum wave, wind release, slashing the sky, wind release, vacuum, jade. Possessions omitted. After obtaining the identity of a businessman, Erha unlocked a new carousel, and the price of the draw was actually the same as the highest-end carousel. The curious Ji also drew 10 shots in a row. The result is a lot more business skills and some props. For example, how to explore mineral veins, how to smelt steel, etc. Although it is a bit expensive, Ji also thinks it is acceptable. After all, these things can make money. Anything that makes money is good. Over the years, he has also mastered his increasingly powerful strength. Now he has the immortal body of the evil god and the human body of an immortal. He was originally immune to death and can still recover quickly. Aside from sealing techniques, it's not too difficult to kill him. The huge chakra brought by the immortal body, coupled with the N-card chakra he got from the lottery, he no longer knows how huge his chakra is now, and it should soon catch up with Senju Hashirama. But compared to these gains from ninjutsu and chakra, he liked the Sharingan he got from Izuna even more. It is said that Sharingan is the eye that reflects the soul. Although he obtained Izuna's Manjikayo, his ability is something that even Izuna and Uchiha have never heard of. The ability of the left eye is called Changheng Divine Kingdom, which translated means the eternal kingdom of gods. It sounds weird, but after knowing the effect, Tetsuya prefers to call him Tetsuo in the duel arena. To put it simply, as long as he can see the other party, he can activate the pupil technique to pull the other party into a divine kingdom of his own. In the kingdom of God, I will continue to steal the opponent's chakra and physical energy. An absolute one-on-one skill, this is much more disgusting than Obaitu's Kamui space. But Kamui also has the advantage of Kamui, it can pull everything into the space. And this Changheng Divine Kingdom of my own can only pull people in, and it must have a target before it can be activated. Of course, things carried by people can also be pulled in. Unlike Obaitu, he can freely enter and leave the Kamui space and can also blur and avoid damage and can also be used as a portable space. Alas, how can I believe that I love you more than Kamui? Although in the kingdom of God I can constantly steal chakra and physical strength from the opponent, I don't lack chakra at all. The immortal body adds a massive amount of chakra. Unless the opponent has a dirty earth body and unlimited chakra, who can fight for chakra better than myself? Moreover, my future self will only be stronger and I feel like I won't be able to use this ability. But there is another one, the pupil technique, cloud outer mirror in his right eye is more interesting. As long as it is the person he has seen, Yun Weijing can create an identical copy. The copy has all the abilities of the original body and is controlled by Jay's thoughts. Of course, depending on the strength of the copied object, the pupil power consumed will also be different. At present, he thinks there is no problem in copying a shadow-level strongman such as copying Saruto by Hiruzen or something. But if he is allowed to copy the peak Hashirama with his current Manjikayo eye power, he may be able to choke. It is estimated that ninjutsu will be unable to withstand it in just a few copies. However, pupil power can be improved. Since he resurrected Izuna, Urguzi thoughtfully added pupil power to the big carousel as a reward. The original 0-5 card of chakra has also become 0-5 of the eye power. Who is this 0-5 Sasuke? Of course it is future Sasuke. But to be honest, Tetsuya felt that Sasuke's eye power during the Manjikayo period really wasn't that great, and he almost became blind after just a few uses of Amaterasu. But it doesn't matter to Tetsuya anyway, every draw is several 0-5. After some time passed, Tetsuya finally gave up the idea of copying the current model and opening a branch. He has discovered that the road to the Chiba Grand Hotel is difficult to replicate in other cities in the Land of Fire. After all, even the second largest city in the Country of Fire cannot find so many nobles and rich people in the capital. If we continue to open branches on the scale of the Chiba Hotel in the capital, then the final result may only be a loss. In the end, he chose to settle for the next best thing and continue to open ramen shops as planned in several larger cities. However, he himself would not come forward to do this kind of thing, leaving it directly to Shadow Clone. At his current level, even Shadow Clone's combat power is quite astonishing. Time flies and people in Konoha have almost forgotten that there was once a person like Chiba Tetsuya in Konoha. The Tate family took Tetsuya's place in their memories. The only ones who still remember Jay are those who had frequent interactions with him in the past. For example, Hatake Sakuya. Even Jirya and the other three have forgotten Tetsuya in the corner of their memory. After all, they have grown up and are no longer ordinary ninja students but have begun to perform tasks as ninjas. More stories intervened in their lives, and the ordinary and less important things in the past were gradually forgotten by them. In the Land of Fire, in a primeval forest, two figures were darting between the tall trees, colliding with each other from time to time, either in close combat or in ninjutsu collision, and the fight was inextricable. What's interesting is that the ninjutsu, physical skills, and even some subtle movements and habits used by these two afterimages are almost identical. If you take a closer look, you will find that the two people fighting are almost carved out of the same mold. Those who don't know it may think that someone is bored and fighting with his own clone. It's time to end it. Uchiha Izuna jumped into the air, quickly formed seals with his hands, and chakra surged. Fire style, the art of singing with dragon flames, Ha-tilde. In an instant, ferocious flames spurted out from Izuna's mouth, and 4 fire dragons formed in the air and rushed towards the other Izuna from up, down, left, and right directions. The other person, Izuna, also formed seals quickly and performed exactly the same ninjutsu. The 8 fire dragons suddenly collided together and an astonishing pillar of fire erupted in the forest. However, looking from the higher sky, one can see that the entire forest has been shrouded in barriers, and it is impossible to see what is happening in the forest from the outside. Click tilde, Izuna fell from the tree with a long sword in his hand, sheathed the sword and looked back at the ruined battlefield, then walked towards the river. By a small river, a young man was sitting on a chair holding a fishing rod in his hand and fishing leisurely. Hey, I'm back. This time it's 5 minutes faster than last time. I'm so happy and happy. Izuna walked to the campfire, picked up a bunch of cooked fish and ate it. There is nothing exciting. According to my plan, I should be able to resolve the battle 15 minutes earlier than last time. Your pupil technique cloud outer mirror has become stronger. Hahaha, there is a slight improvement. What's more important is that Izuna, you have become stronger, so the clone Izuna I copied has become even more powerful. Tisk, you can copy all the abilities of the person you saw. How could there be such a perverted pupil technique in this world? Obviously your Mangekyo comes from my Mangekyo, and both of my Mangekyo abilities are self-amplifications. Izuna complained with some dissatisfaction. He also knew very well that after Tetsuya resurrected himself, he gained all his abilities, including the Sharingan that the Uchiha clan is proud of. But those eyes of his were clearly his own, so why did the awakened pupil technique be so much more powerful than his own? Haha, don't be angry. Jay laughed twice, twitched the fishing rod suddenly, and a big fat fish was caught by him. He took off the hook and threw the fish into the wooden barrel next to him and said, "No matter how powerful my eye skills are, they are all from the Sharingan of your Uchiha clan. This means that the eyes of your Uchiha clan are the most powerful. As for why our eye skills are different, this is also easy to explain. Sharingan is the eye that reflects the soul." He looked at Izuna and said, "You are a proud Uchiha and all you think about is how to make yourself strong, and I am just a weak and pitiful businessman. Naturally, I hope that someone can protect me, so I awakened such an eye skill." Listening to Tetsuya's words, Izuna suddenly felt that the grilled fish in his hand no longer tasted good. What nonsense are you talking about? You Chiba Tetsuya are weak and pitiful. So who am I who is suppressed by you all the time? Hey, I just said it casually, don't take it seriously. Goo tilde. While the two were chatting under the grilled fish, a ninja pigeon flew over and landed on Tetsuya's shoulder. Tetsuya took out a note from the ninja pigeon and read it. Seeing the content on the note, Tetsuya's smile became even brighter. What's wrong? Did those two idiot cloud shadow ninjas pass on any interesting information to you? Ever since they took control of those two stupid ninjas from Cloud Shadow, information would be passed on from time to time. The information that was passed on was basically inconsequential, and Jaya usually watched it for fun. Well, those two idiots spread the news that a Uzumaki orphan from the kingdom of Uzumaki has left for Konoha. Hokage people are interested in this Uzumaki bloodline and plan to find an opportunity to sneak into Konoha and snatch the Uzumaki orphan. The Uzumaki orphan Tetsuya in the information knew without guessing that it must be Kushina. Calculating the time, Uzumaki Mido might not be able to hold on any longer. In order to ensure that Nine Tails stays in Konoha, they are thinking of bringing Kushina to Konoha to become the next Nine Tails Jinchuriki. HMPH, those reckless men in Union know how to rob. During the Warring States period, the Kingdom of Thunder was a gathering place for bandits. Now that the ninja village has been established, it has created a bandit den. Hey, what you said is right. Judging from the things they did, Union Village is really a bandit den. As he spoke, Tetsuya stood up and stretched. What, are you planning to go back? Yes, go back to Konoha. Are your Chiba family familiar with the Uzumaki clan? Tetsuya thought for a while and said, it should be familiar. After all, our Chiba family was a vassal of the Senju clan, and the Senju and the Uzumaki clan have been allies since the Warring States period. So you, the last orphan of the Chiba family, plan to go back to meet the orphan of the Uzumaki clan. And at the same time protect him from being kidnapped by Union Village? Tetsuya tilted his head and looked at Izuna. He didn't quite understand. He just said that he planned to go back to Konoha. How did Izuna figure out so many things? Could it be said that this is the way geniuses look at things? Will any simple thing that enters their minds be constantly analyzed and added to? What are you thinking about? I just want to go back and have fun. Kumigakure robs Kushina and then Minato makes a stunning appearance, and the tomato scrambled egg combination has been in love ever since. How could I miss such a famous scene? For fun, Izuna was speechless for a moment. Although he had been with Tetsuya for a long time, he still couldn't understand Tetsuya's brain circuit. To be precise, Tetsuya's brain circuit is different from anyone he has ever seen before. After all, if it were other people with Tetsuya's powerful strength, how many people would choose to go into business and become a businessman? Also, knowing that someone else is coming to rob someone, you neither tip off nor threaten Kumigakure to obtain benefits but simply want to go back and have fun. How can Izuna understand this? Seeing Izuna's puzzled and speechless look, Tetsuya didn't explain much, just narrowed his eyes slightly and kept smiling. Izuna, it has been a long time since you were resurrected. Do you want to go back and see the current Uchiha clan and see the Konoha established by your brother and the Senju family? Hearing Tetsuya's words, Izuna's eyes dimmed a bit. Oh, forget it, except for the name, I have nothing to do with the current Uchiha clan. As for Konoha, Izuna took a deep breath. The place that put my brother in pain, I'm afraid I won't be able to help but destroy him. Listening to Izuna's words, Tetsuya didn't say anything. His slightly narrowed eyes made it even more difficult to guess what he was thinking. As for Izuna talking about destroying Konoha, he really has the ability. After being resurrected by Tetsuya, Izuna's body returned to its peak state and is still growing. He is a genius of the Uchiha clan and has amazing learning ability. He has learned a lot of powerful ninjutsu from Tetsuya. Paired with a pair of Mangekyo, if he were to fight, few people in Konoha could stop him. Bulldozing Konoha might be a bit bragging, but causing serious damage is absolutely fine. After all, when Uchiha Madara wanted to destroy Konoha, it was Hashirama who pushed him out. Although Izuna is not Uchiha Madara, there is no second Hashirama in Konoha. I'll stay here to help you look after the scene. Although no one dares to cause trouble with the Chiba Hotel's current reputation in the Land of Fire, but, as you often say, if you are not afraid of 10,000, just afraid of what might happen. Okay, as long as you're happy. By the way, Tetsuya, when can I resurrect my brother? Resurrect Uchiha Madara. Tetsuya touched his chin. It's still early, don't worry. It is indeed still early. After all, Uchiha Madara is not dead yet. How can a person who is not dead be resurrected by himself? Believe me, when the time comes, I will resurrect your brother. Well, I believe you. Then I'll go back and pack my things first. I should be back in a few days, Gana tilde. Tetsuya waved his hand and turned to leave. Izuna looked at Tetsuya's leaving back, thought for a long time, and finally walked to his previous seat and sat down, picked up the fishing rod and started fishing. After severing ties with the family, Izuna feels that life is pretty good now. Of course, it would be even better if her brother is here too. Well, I have to help Tetsuya manage his business and resurrect his brother as soon as possible. Back at the Chiba Hotel, Tetsuya symbolically packed some things and prepared to return to Konoha. Apart from anything else, he can now be considered a wealthy businessman. After all, the reputation of the Chiba Hotel is quite large in the Land of Fire. As the saying goes, wealth is like walking at night in brocade clothes if you don't return home. Boss, please. Outside the door, the carriage driver, who had been waiting for a long time, made an invitation gesture. Jay stepped onto the car and sat in the carriage. The sound of horse hooves sounded, and two white horses pulled the carriage slowly away from the capital of the country of fire. Enjoy, since you have money, you must learn to enjoy. Hey, although with his current strength, if he ran by himself, he would be able to return to Konoha very quickly, but running by himself would not be as comfortable as traveling by car. Hey tilde, this extravagant life is really depraved. Sitting on the soft couch in the car, eating exquisite pastries and drinking wine, Ji was enjoying it happily, even though he had never experienced this kind of life in his previous life. Putting down the wine bottle in his hand, Tetsuya's slightly squinted eyes suddenly opened, and his black pupils instantly turned red. Interesting, I've only been out for a long time and I can't bear it anymore. He sensed a chakra full of malice, and it was obvious that someone was coming towards him. Over the years, it's not like no one has had bad thoughts towards me. It's just a pity that when he was in the capital, Tetsuya made good friends with the dignitaries, and those nobles would not allow anyone to attack him in their territory. Therefore, after leaving the capital, many bounty hunters would come after hearing the news, wanting to try their luck at Tetsuya's wealth. It's just a pity that these guys don't even have a chance to rush in front of Tetsuya. The moment they show malice, Izuna will cut off their heads. This time, Izuna did not appear with Tetsuya. It had only been half a day since they left the capital, but someone couldn't help it anymore. Whoosh tilde, a kunai penetrated the carriage and went straight to Tetsuya's head. Shua tilde, in the blink of an eye, kunai flew out from the other side of the carriage and was nailed to a big tree. Ah! The carriage driver screamed in surprise and the horses neighed, frightened by the sudden attack. Boss! The carriage driver exclaimed, but the next moment he calmed down and a pair of scarlet pupils appeared in his eyes. The next moment the driver jumped out of the carriage and ran away. Obviously, the ninja who came to attack Tetsuya had no interest in a carriage driver. Tetsuya walked out of the carriage, jumped off the carriage, slapped the horse's butt, and the carriage chased in the direction where the driver escaped. Okay, it's okay now. I bought the carriage with money. It would be bad if it gets damaged. As he spoke, Tetsuya stretched. Why, aren't you planning to come out yet? Swish swish tilde. Before the words could be finished, several sounds broke through the air. The 6 shurikens went straight to Tetsuya's throat like a lion majesty. Seeing this, Tetsuya turned sideways and the shuriken flew past Tetsuya's neck without hurting a hair. Aren't you going to come out yet? You can't take my head away with just your tricks. The intelligence is wrong. Didn't it say that the owner of the Chiba Hotel is an ordinary person, and it was the ninja protection around him that prevented him from being assassinated by the bounty hunter? Now it seems that you are not that simple. A figure appeared above the treetops. The man was wearing a black vest and a black mask. His head was tightly wrapped with only a pair of green eyes exposed. Obvious stitching marks can be seen on his arms, making it look like his hands are a bunch of fragments sewn together. He wears a metal forehead protector on his forehead. The logo of Takigakure Village is engraved on the forehead protector, but the logo of Takigakure Village is crossed with a line, indicating that the person in front of him is a rebel ninja. With such a conspicuous sign, Tetsuya recognized the other party's identity at a glance. "Oh, I thought someone was coming to take my life, but I didn't expect it to be you, Mr. Kakuzu, the famous bounty hunter and trader of Takigakure Village." Seeing Kakuzu, Tetsuya was not afraid but became excited. Why? Because he appreciates Angle's talent. It's not that he appreciates his secret technique of turning himself into a monster, but he appreciates his talent for making money. What do I need most? Isn't it money? It can be said that Tetsuya and Kakuzu are very close to each other. A hint of surprise flashed through Angle's green eyes. "Oh, I didn't expect that you, a wealthy businessman from the Fire Country, would actually know about me." Of course, after all, who doesn't know Kakuzu, the top bounty hunter? Tetsuya looked at Kakuzu, very calm, and even started to chat. "I heard that you accepted the mission to assassinate our first Hokage in Konoha and ended up running away after losing a shuriken 800 miles away. Is this true?" Hearing this, Kakuzu suddenly became angry. "Are you kidding? Do you know how far 800 miles is? I actually fought against Senju Hashirama back then." "Well, what you said makes sense. If you can throw shurikens in 800 miles and hit the target if you don't say anything else, you have this strength. If you fight head-on, there will probably be very few people who can be your opponent. Stop talking nonsense, give up resistance and die. This way you can suffer less pain and I can exchange your head for money at the gold exchange earlier." As soon as he finished speaking, Kakuzu jumped down from the tree and rushed towards Tetsuya. With a punch, his fist separated directly from his arm and struck towards Tetsuya. The fist and arm were connected by black silk threads. "Is this the earthly resentment you? It looks disgusting." He said he was disgusted, but Tetsuya was curiously looking at Kakuzu's secret technique. Tentacle fist, release your fist, and then rely on the silk-like tentacle control to achieve the purpose of surprise and increase the attack distance. Kakuzu's taijutsu ability is very good, but unfortunately all his movements were seen through by Tetsuya. Easily dodging and retreating, Kakuzu couldn't even touch the hem of Tetsuya's clothes. Quite clean and neat skills. Sure enough, the information is wrong. Seeing that Tetsuya easily avoided his attack, Kakuzu's eyes were sharp, and he was ready to go back and dig out the heart of the information dealer. After several rounds of taijutsu battles, Kakuzu felt more and more familiar with Tetsuya's taijutsu, as if he had seen it somewhere before or had fought against someone who also used this type of taijutsu. "This is the taijutsu of the Uchiha clan. How is this possible? Isn't this kid from a vassal family of the Senju clan?" Kakuzu was a little surprised, but he didn't dare to confirm it. However, Tetsuya spoke again. "Mr. Kakuzu, I don't think we need to go to war. In fact, I admire you very much." "What? Are you afraid of death? Are you planning to bribe me with money?" "I just really don't think we need to do this. Doesn't Mr. Kakuzu like money? I think we can make money together." "Haha, it's really interesting. If I kill you, all your money will be mine and your head can be exchanged for a generous bounty. Stop talking nonsense and accept death." Tetsuya couldn't be helped by the body-sighting technique, so Kakuzu changed his mind and prepared to use the number of people. After all, no matter how powerful Tetsuya's physical skills were, it didn't mean anything to him. He didn't feel the fluctuations of chakra in Tetsuya's body. Lightning-style pseudo-darkness? After the seal was completed, the threads of earthly resentment in Kakuzu's body surged and a mask emerged. It looked like a mask growing on a large mass of black seaweed. Lightning Style's mask instantly ejected powerful thunder and lightning from its mouth, shooting towards Tetsuya from near to far. The speed is amazing. "Well, it seems that I need to teach you a lesson first before you can listen to me honestly." Jay sighed, but his tone was full of excitement. Since the end of the Ninja War, he has never fought with anyone else except Izuna. Meeting Kakuzu really made him feel a little itchy. Chakra sealing techniques. Solution: Tetsuya directly untied the chakra sealing techniques he had applied to himself, and the majestic chakra erupted the next moment. Tetsuya's whole body seemed to glow with blue light at that moment, which was a manifestation of the actualization of chakra. Chakra was released, and Kakuzu's attack was avoided with a teleportation technique. What's going on with that chakra? The intelligence is wrong. Damn the intelligence dealer, I will dig out your heart and chop off your head. Everyone in Kakuzu was paralyzed. The moment Tetsuya released the chakra, Kakuzu seemed to have the illusion of confronting Senju Hashirama due to the pressure generated at the moment. But after being shocked, he wanted to kill the guy who provided him with information. Is this guy named Chiba Tetsuya an ordinary person? However, the experience he accumulated over the years of fighting told him that he had no extra time to be idle here. Form seals quickly. Water-style water barrier. Another mask appeared and a violent jet of water spat out from the mask's mouth. Jay saw this and had a whim. Water-style water dragon bullet. After the seal was completed, the water surged, and a huge shunlong rose around Tetsuya's body and rushed straight towards the water column released by Kakuzu. PFFT tilde. The water splashed everywhere, and the water waves from the collision were able to cut off several large trees. So strong water style, Tetsuya exclaimed. With such a powerful water style, Kakuzu felt that he could almost catch up with second Hokage Senju Taburama, the famous water style master in the Jonin world. What? Why do you think a Hokage would be a famous water style master in the ninja world, instead of a Mizukage? Just kidding, Mizukage himself didn't dare to say that he was the master of water style in front of second Hokage. Wind escape pressure. Seeing that water style was ineffective, Kakuzu quickly retracted his two masks and switched to wind release. You must know that relying on the secret technique of earth resentment and he has 5 hearts in his body, and each heart can provide chakra of one attribute, which allows him to use 5 escape techniques with different attributes. It can be said that Kakuzu is the 5-release ninjutsu master who became famous earlier than the 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen. Alas, it's unfortunate. Tetsuya doesn't have much else, he just knows a lot about ninjutsu. After all, he couldn't even remember how many ninjutsu scrolls he had drawn out over the years. Wind escape vacuum jade. Tetsuya took a deep breath and exhaled it instantly. With the blessing of chakra, the power was amazing. The vacuum jade collided with the pressure and exploded instantly, tearing the ground apart and toppling trees. I still don't believe it. Kakuzu didn't expect that Tetsuya could actually grandmaster ninjutsu with 2 different attributes at such a young age, but it was okay. After all, the compatibility of wind style and water style was pretty good. As a master of the 5-release ninjutsu with 5 hearts of different attributes, how could he not be a match for a young man? Fire style head hard work, fire style fire dragon flame bullet. The same fire style is still amazingly powerful. Kakuzu gritted his teeth, determined not to give in now. Wind escape press, lightning style pseudo darkness, water style water barrier, fire style, ninjutsu with different attributes are combined together and released continuously. Wind assists the power of fire, fire takes advantage of the wind, thunder travels along the water, and water assists the power of thunder. Kakuzu is worthy of being a famous ninja for a long time, and his abilities are quite impressive. Seeing Kakuzu releasing ninjutsu continuously, Tetsuya became even more excited. He followed suit and began to release various ninjutsu continuously to fight against Kakuzu. The battle between ninjas is a game and an assassination. Those are things that only little scumbags without blue would do. People like them who have Chaitla play ninjutsu. Fire style the art of singing with dragon flames, water style water dragon wave bullet technique, earth style earth dragon bomb, lightning style wind escape. Various ninjutsu are thrown out as if they are free of money. Everyone in Kakuzu was almost dumbfounded. Damn it, what is this guy's background? You must know that the reason why he was able to release ninjutsu in this way was because he had 5 hearts and was blessed by the secret technique of earth resentment and The amount of chakra he possesses is far beyond that of ordinary ninjas. Why does this guy seem to have more chakra than himself? If Tetsuya knew what Kakuzu was thinking at this moment, he would probably die laughing. How could the mere earth resentment use secret technique be compared to my own immortal body plus the chakra accumulated over many years of drawing cards? Now, even if I compare with Hashirama, chakra would probably be worthy of him. Looks like I need to show some real skills. Kakuzu knew that if he didn't show his special skills, let alone exchange Chiba Tetsuya's head for money, he might not be able to go back. Composite ninja technique, strange face explosive flame. Chakra surged crazily and two earthly resentment masks emerged, namely the wind side and the fire side. The next moment, the wind surged and flames burst out. The storm merged with the fire, turning into terrifying flames and sweeping towards Tetsuya. Feeling the terrifying temperature coming towards him, Jaya also became serious. Well done, you are indeed the long-famous S-class rebellious ninja Kakuzu. The hands respond quickly and chakra surges. Water-style water dragon bite, ho tilde! A loud roar sounded as if a giant dragon was roaring. The water surged and turned into a water dragon that was even bigger than the previous water dragon wave bomb. The water dragon rolled up a furious wave and rushed towards the flames. PFFT tilde, laugh, water and fire met, making a loud noise. At the same time, scorching steam emerged from the forest, and all the flowers, plants, and trees were eroded and destroyed by the scorching steam. Even the ground was soaked. By this time, Kakuzu was breaking out in a cold sweat. With this level of water style, aren't you really fighting against second Hokage Senju Taburama? This is too outrageous. At the same time, Angle also thought quickly. Next, he should run away, otherwise he might end up here. The strong wind blew away and swept away the white water vapor in front of his eyes. Kakuzu saw Tetsuya again and saw that Tetsuya was actually forming seals again. Seeing the situation, I no longer thought about it and made a decision. Earthly resentment, final shot. Kakuzu raised his hands and the tentacles of the earthly resentment expanded rapidly, and three masks appeared in front of him, namely wind, fire, and thunder. This is his strongest attack, a chakra attack that combines three different attributes. Are you enlarging your move? Then I'll give you some face. Seeing this, Ji simply gave up the seal and his black pupils turned into blood. The three magatama in the blood pupils rotated at high speed and finally formed a special pattern. The third power is Susanoo. A golden bust of Susanoo rises from the ground. Half-length Susanoo held a takai in his hand and slashed directly towards the angle. Kakuzu is a human being. You're a asterisk, I'm a asterisk, you're a asterisk. Isn't your name Chiba Tetsuya? Where did you come from, Sharingan? Where did you come from, Susanoo? Don't think I don't know, this thing belongs to the F*** G Uchiha clan. Your surname is Chiba, and Chiba is a vassal of the Senju clan. You said that someone in your ancestors was married to a Senju, and you have Senju blood in your body. I can understand that you can use wood style, but what's going on with your Sharingan and Susanoo? I'm done with it, I'm dead this time. Seeing the huge golden blade falling from the sky towards him, Kakuzu felt powerless. With one strike, a gap was opened in the forest. Tetsuya put away Susanoo and Sharingan and walked towards where Kakuzu was sitting. Except for the huge knife marks, nothing is left here. It was as if Tetsuya had killed Kakuzu with his sword. However, Kakuzu can deceive people who don't know him well, but he cannot deceive Tetsuya. With the secret technique of earth resentment and you and 5 hearts, it is not that easy for him to die. After all, after he joins the Akatsuki organization in the future, Kakuzu and Hidden will be known as the Immortal Duo. Okay, come out, stop hiding. Your hiding ability is indeed very good, but it's not that good in front of my eyes. Tetsuya stamped his foot on the ground. Now that I'm in a good mood, I plan to save your life, but don't force me to kill you and silence you. Hearing Tetsuya's words, Kakuzu knew that there was no point in hiding. A large number of black lines began to appear on the ground. These are the black lines of earth resentment. The black threads combined to form Kakuzu. Kakuzu clutched his chest and panted violently. What do you want? Kakuzu looked up at Tetsuya in confusion. He had already admitted defeat. This guy is really weird. He is clearly called Chiba, but he has chakra as huge as a whirlpool, eyes like Uchiha, and ninjutsu with multiple attributes like Grandmaster. It's like a monster that combines the characteristics of several powerful forces in the ninja world. Tetsuya glanced at the angle and narrowed his eyes slightly before laughing. There are still 2 hearts. Well, it's pretty much what I expected. He left room for the last stab. Otherwise, with an angle that has almost consumed chakra, how could he really be able to withstand his own Suzunu's sword? Kakuzu, I admire you very much. Come hang out with me. Don't you like money? It just so happens that I also like money. What? Kakuzu didn't quite understand the other party's brain circuit. He clearly came to assassinate him and they had a fight just now. Now that he has won the battle, he didn't ask for his secret skills or ask himself who wanted to kill him, although he didn't know it either. The job of the money exchange never announced the employer. And now he actually said that he admired himself. This is what to do, Tetsuya continued. Kakuzu, I know that you are running around killing people and doing missions all over the ninja world just for money. But do you know how to make money the fastest and most stably? Is it by completing tasks bit by bit like the ninjas in the ninja village? Is it by going to the underground gold exchange to exchange for bounties? No, it's neither. It's business, especially business with nobles. You should know that I opened a hotel and made a lot of money in the capital of the Kingdom of Fire. My daily income alone is an astronomical figure. But do you know, the money I earn is just a meal for those dignitaries. Listening to Tetsuya's words, Kakuzu's eyes widened. 2 figures sat down on the roots of a big tree among the woods. Kakuzu listened to Tetsuya telling him about money-making plans. Listen to me, look at the entire ninja world. Who is the richest? Is it those ninjas? Is it those ninja villages? None. The really rich people are those high-ranking officials and famous kings. Is the ninja village awesome? It's true that those ninjas are very good at fighting, but at critical moments don't they have to rely on funds from the damning palace? Listening to Tetsuya's words, Kakuzu was thoughtful and then nodded in approval from time to time. So, you can't make a fortune as a ninja, but you can do business, especially with those nobles. Ji also continued to paint angles. What about market monopoly, capital accumulation, money and power transactions, land enclosure production, financial control of the market, and capital kidnapping the ninja world? These things almost gave Kakuzu an O******M. The excited Kakuzu immediately stood up and bowed to Tetsuya. A certain person has been wandering around for half his life, running around for money, and thinks he is the best person in the world who knows how to make money. When I met my husband today, I realized that he is just a frog at the bottom of a well, sitting in a well and looking at the sky. Compared with my husband, I am like the light of a firefly seeing the bright moon in the sky. Listening to my husband's words, my admiration for him is like the endless river. In the future, I am willing to serve as a pawn in front of my husband, but I will always follow his lead. Tetsuya was happy to hear Kakuzu's words. He didn't expect that you, a black-faced B******D, could actually talk. That's right, even if the other person can't speak, he has lived for such a long time and has met many people, so he will be influenced by what he hears and sees. Oh, Kakuzu, it's meaningless for you to say this. You and I both have a common hobby or ideal. We are like-minded partners. You and I can make money together. Then Kakuzu is more respectful than obedient. First beat this guy for a while and then take out something that the other person is interested in. This 2-pronged approach will ensure that Kakuzu will not pay for his own life. Okay, we will be friends and partners from now on, so don't be too nervous. Tetsuya patted his shoulder. In the battle just now, you lost 4 of your 5 hearts. Go and replenish your hearts first to regain your strength. After that, you can wait for me at the Chiba Hotel in the capital of the Country of Fire. You can take this. As he spoke, Tetsuya took out a key from his pocket. Is this the key? Kakuzu was a little excited. Could it be the key to the vault? This is the key to the door of the Chiba Hotel. It is also a token. If you take this to the Chiba Hotel, the people staying there will not make it difficult for you. Hearing this, Kakuzu suddenly recalled the previous intelligence which said that there was a powerful ninja protecting Chiba Tetsuya. After a previous battle with Tetsuya, he thought that the information was wrong. There were no ninjas, but he himself was the most powerful. Now it seems that there is no problem with the intelligence. But because there was such a ninja protecting him before, no one can force Tetsuya to take action, so that the intelligence dealers think that Tetsuya is just an ordinary person who is protected by others. If you think about it carefully, following Tetsuya, there will be at least 2 masters in charge, including Tetsuya. 2 strong men with S-level renegade strength and above. Their background is extraordinary. Coupled with what Jie said to him before, Jiao Jiao was shocked. This Kyanba Ji also wants to do big things. He needs money, he needs experts, and he wants to follow them. Wouldn't it be smooth sailing? But even so, that doesn't stop Kakuzu from going back and taking out the heart of the information dealer. Okay, then I will leave first. After I recover, I will go to the Chiba Hotel to find you, the boss. Goodbye then. He waved goodbye to Kakuzu. Kakuzu disappeared into the woods in an instant. Ah, that's great. Kakuzu's strength would have been considered a master even in any era when wall hangings were rampant, let alone now. What's more, the most promising thing about Kakuzu is not his strength but his ability to make money. Kakuzu likes money and he is also a good hand at making money, plus he shows him a path. Thinking about it, the corners of Tetsuya's mouth couldn't help but curl up. To put it bluntly, the ninja world is a feudal society, allowing Kakuzu to engage in the rise of capital in such a world. Hey hey hey. Just as he was imagining, a wave of chakra came. Tetsuya reacted immediately. It seems that the ninjas of Konoha noticed the fighting and came over. Tusk, I don't know if they saw Suzuno, but it doesn't matter, Izuna is guaranteed anyway. When he used Izuna's identity to save Taburama, he didn't believe that Taburama didn't tell the 3rd generation that Izuna was still alive. Thinking about it, Tetsuya also quickly evacuated the scene. Here, let Izuna take the blame for now. Not long after Tetsuya left, several Konoha ninjas wearing animal masks appeared. It should be right here. It looks like someone did have a fight here. The leader of the masked ninja couldn't help but feel a little frightened when he looked at the traces left by the battle in front of him. This level of destruction is probably not something ordinary people can survive, and the golden giant they saw before. Inspect the scene and don't let go of any clues. Yes, the masked ninjas began to survey the scene and investigate the clues left here. Soon a piece of information was delivered to the desk in Konoha Hokage's office. 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen read the information carefully, his brows gradually tightened. The golden giant, could it be Suzuno of the Uchiha clan? Thinking about it, Hiruzen Sarutobi took a puff of his pipe and smoke filled the Hokage office for a while. According to their teacher's teachings, the Uchiha clan has always been the target of their wariness. Whether they are performing tasks inside the village or outside, there will always be people watching the Uchiha clan. He knew everything about Uchiha in the village, so it couldn't be Konoha's Uchiha. He remembered what his teacher Senju Taburama said to him at that time. The strong man of the Uchiha clan, the resurrected Uchiha Izuna, is now somewhere in the ninja world and the opponent may come to Konoha at any time. And now, could it be that Uchiha Izuna is back? What should I do? He took another deep puff of the pipe and the smoke rose. Dang tilde, suddenly there was a loud noise and the door of Hokage's office was pushed open. A one-eyed man walked in. This one-eyed man had a cold face and an obvious cross scar on his chin. Monkey, something happened outside the village. The Uchiha clan went out of the village without authorization and started fighting with ninjas from other villages. This behavior is undoubtedly treason to the village. We will punish this evil Uchiha clan. Hearing this, Sarutobi Hiruzen's expression changed. I have just received information from Anbu. How did you, Shimura Danzo, know about it? Are there any root people in Anbu? Good on you, Shimura Danzo, you are very kind. Hiruzen, what are you hesitating about? The people of Uchiha dare to leave the village without permission to fight with people from other villages. They undoubtedly do not take the village seriously, nor do they take you, the Hokage, seriously. Danzo, what you said is serious. I arranged for Anbu's people to keep an eye on the Uchiha clan. Those who don't have them leave the village without authorization. People outside are not necessarily Uchiha people. Seeing that his old friend was actually speaking for the inherently evil Uchiha, Danzo's expression became a little dark. Hiruzen, what does that mean? That's Uchiha who is born evil. Who knows if they used some method to circumvent your surveillance. It's not as serious as you say. Uchiha is also part of the village. You regard them as part of the village. Do they themselves recognize this? From my perspective, the battle happening outside this time must be the Uchiha clan fighting against other villages in the name of Konoha. When the time comes, other people will be provoked. The village attacks Konoha so that they can take the opportunity to rebel. We must suppress and punish the Uchiha clan first so that they don't have that chance. Danzo, you passed. Monkey, have you forgotten what the teacher said? Uchiha are a naturally evil people. Danzo, have you forgotten the mirror? He died to save you. When Danzo mentioned the Uchiha realm, he felt a sting in his right eye. Hiruzen, if you don't suppress the Uchiha clan today, you will regret it in the future. That's enough, Danzo. I'm the Hokage. Bang tilde. With a loud noise, Danzo slammed the door and left. Sarutobi Hiruzen was left alone sitting in the Hokage office. The sad-looking Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't help but light up his pipe again and smoked. Suppressing the Uchiha clan is the policy set by their teacher Senju Tabarama. He also wants to do this, but the current situation is too special. The Uchiha clan is restless, and there is an Uchiha Izuna outside the village who doesn't know when he will come back. The teacher asked himself to be careful not to push Uchiha too hard, but his friend Danzo did not want to miss any opportunity to suppress the Uchiha clan. Sarutobi Hiruzen slowly exhaled a puff of smoke. Although he was still in his prime, he seemed to be much older. Uchiha Izuna, you are a dead person. Why do you want to come back? In the Hokage office, Sarutobi Hiruzen's hair was almost turning gray, but Tetsuya on the other side returned to his own residence in Konoha leisurely. His old wife had already been dealt with long ago, and when his business picked up, he had already bought himself a single-family house in Konoha. You are also a wealthy businessman now, so you can't let yourself be wronged. Teacher, I heard that you are back and we came to see you. There was a knock on the door and a familiar call came from outside the door. Coming. At the moment when the gate of opening was opened, Tetsuya was stunned for a moment when he looked at the still young Tetsuya in front of him. Teacher? Tate looked at Tetsuya in front of him with some doubts. Are you the teacher's child? I couldn't help but wonder. After all, the person in front of me was so similar to the teacher in my memory, almost exactly the same, but he still looked like a teenager, but the teacher was obviously 1 year older than me. Seeing the uncle-looking figure in front of him, Jaya was also stunned for a moment. It turns out that so much time has passed in the blink of an eye. The old man, who was a little shy and learned to make ramen next to him, has turned into an uncle who is 46-7 and is about to reach 50. And because of the evil god's immortal body, he is like the scorpion who transformed himself into a human puppet. He will always be in his teens and 20s, always in his prime. Thinking of this, Jay smiled and said, You just hit me with your hands, senior brother. I heard my father mentioned you. My name is Kaianai Liang. Senior brother, come in. Chiba Ryo. You are really the teacher's child. You look exactly like the teacher when he was young. Shuda also burst out laughing. He patted the 11 or 12-year-old child next to him on the shoulder. Yila Kyue, call me Uncle Master. The young man, Yael's eyes widened. He looked at the man in front of him and respectfully called him uncle. Although Shoudai is only 1 year younger than Tetsuya, one should never forget the kindness of teaching him. Even if Tetsuya and Shoudai call him brothers, Shoudai is still Tetsuya's disciple. Naturally, he is the same generation as little Tetsuya and the same generation as Tetsuya's child. And his son Yael naturally wanted to call him Master Uncle when he saw Liang. Tetsuya also smiled and patted Ikaraku's head. Okay, don't stand outside, come in, then we won't bother you. Inviting the two people in, Jaya poured tea to greet them. The hand slap was full of emotion. He also didn't expect that his teacher's children were so old, much older than his own children. Thinking about it, the teacher has developed so well in the capital, so he must have been married long ago. When Yael was born, he said that the teacher was not married yet, so maybe he was already married. Soon it was lunch time and Jay personally cooked a few dishes to entertain Shu De and his son. Hand-beating lamented that Liang had received the teacher's true message and asked about the situation of the teacher and his wife. Tetsuya could only casually say that they were living a good life in the capital, but after all, he was getting older and didn't like to go back and forth, so he allowed himself to come to Konoha alone to see the place where he grew up. Shuda also fully agrees with Tetsuya's words. After all, he is getting older now and doesn't like to travel far away. The two chatted a lot while eating, most of the time chatting with each other. He lamented that time flies by and people become old without realizing it. Jaya was also quite emotional about this. After sending away his son and his father, Tetsuya could no longer sit still. He walked alone on the streets of Konoha. When he was in the capital, he was either fishing in the mountains and forests outside the capital or making money. At that time, I didn't have any deep feelings about time, but when he returned to Konoha, he realized that so much time had passed. The streets of Konoha have changed. The original low-rise houses have been demolished and turned into taller and larger houses. The streets have also become wider and cleaner. In fact, it seems now that Konoha managed by Hiruzen Sarutobi in his prime was pretty good. Hey tilde, Tetsuya, Hearing a familiar call, Tetsuya turned around and saw a ninja with white hair and a vicissitudes of life on his face. Huh, Tetsuya, why are you still so young? Sakuya walked forward quickly and looked at Tetsuya curiously. Looking at the man in front of him, Tetsuya suddenly had mixed feelings in his heart. Haha, the high-spirited Hokage Sakuya has now become an uncle with a face full of vicissitudes of life. Although he wanted to laugh and say, "Hey Shoy, why are you so old?" But he knew he couldn't say that, so he just smiled politely. "Hello, uncle, my name is Kyanai Liang. Do you know my father? Like, the person in front of me is really like the original Tetsuya." If he hadn't felt a little bit of chakra in the person in front of him, he might have thought that this was Tetsuya. After all, after Tetsuya first cultivated chakra, he still taught him the art of cloning. "Are you the son of that guy Tetsuya?" Jay nodded. There was nothing he couldn't accept as his own son. "Tusk, it's a shame that I regard him as my brother. He didn't even call me when he got married. I didn't expect the child to be so old." Looking at Sakuya, I felt envious and a little unhappy. We agreed to be single together back then, but I didn't expect that boys' children are so old and he is really untrustworthy. "Your name is Liang, right?" "Yes, my name is Ryo, Chiba Ryo." "White hair, John in vest. Oh, I know you are Hokage Sakuya-senpai, right? My father said that you are a very amazing ninja, but you are not. Come to think of it, you look better than I thought. You're going to be a lot older, aren't you?" Sakuya laughed. "Ha ha ha ha, this is normal. After all, I am a few years older than your Tetsuya guy." "How is that Tetsuya guy? I haven't seen him in many years." "It's okay, but I'm getting older and don't like to move around much anymore, so I'm the only one coming back to Konoha this time." "He's a real guy," Sakuya said with emotion. "When he was young, he and I traveled all over the land of fire in order to open a branch. I didn't expect that now he is too lazy to even go back to Konoha. As a businessman, my father has been socializing all these years, eating and drinking. His body is no longer as good as when he was young. Unlike you, Senior Sakuya, you are still as strong as you are." "Ha ha ha, you kid, you can talk better than Jaya, haha," Sakuya laughed twice happily. "But I'm not as skilled as I used to be. I plan to retire after 2 more years of work. It would be nice to go home and drink tea and play with flowers and plants. Maybe I'll have time to go to the capital to have a drink with that boy Tetsuya. It's a good relationship. I believe my father will be very happy for Sakuya-senpai's visit." "Really? Then you go back and tell him to wait for me, Sakuya-senpai." While the two were chatting, several young ninjas ran towards Sakuya. It seemed that these people should be Chunin. "Okay, good boy, I won't chat with you anymore. You've seen it. It's time for me to go on a mission." Tetsuya looked at the arrangement of this Jonin and several Chunin and couldn't help but feel curious. With so many people, is Senior Sakuya leading a team on a B-level mission? Sakuya smiled quite proudly. "That's wrong, good boy, this is an A-level mission." In recent years, the borders of the Fire Country have become increasingly disharmonious. "Well, according to the ninja rules, I can't tell you more. Goodbye." After that, Hokage Sakuya waved to Tetsuya and left with his team towards the entrance of the village. Jaya looked at the people leaving and couldn't help but think, is the Fire Nation's border becoming unstable? He carefully estimated the time. Oh, the 20-year period of peace is almost over. So that means that the second war in the ninja world is about to begin and the fighting factions in each village have begun to rise? Thinking about it, Ji also started to walk back. It seems that he came back early. Pepper was kidnapped after the Second Ninja War. The Second Ninja War is about to begin. Is there anything I can plan for it? After living in Konoha for a few days, Tetsuya didn't show much of his face. Except for the Shouta family and Sakuya, who was out on a mission, not many people knew of his existence. For Tetsuya, there is nothing he wants to see in Konoha. Hadake Shuomo to Tetsuya, he is just Sakuya's younger brother and his relationship with him is not that good. Sanin, they are just his former customers and their interactions are not very deep. In other words, among the Sanin, only Orochimaru has a better relationship with him. However, if Orochimaru were to see him now, he might not want to drag him into slices for study. After all, Orochimaru has been pursuing the true meaning of life. How will he feel when he sees himself as a life that will not age or die? It's almost time to go back. Kakuzu must have been waiting for me for several days. After packing his things, Tetsuya was ready to leave Konoha. "Sir, the carriage is ready." The driver greeted him outside the door and a carriage stopped on the street outside the house. Not to mention, traveling by carriage in Konoha is quite prestigious these days. After all, most people can't afford a carriage and even hiring one is expensive. Generally, only those from the ninja clan would ride a carriage. The carriage drove on the street, attracting many people to watch. "Teacher, look, the carriage is a 2-horse carriage. Is this a member of the ninja clan in the village?" A 10-year-old young ninja pulled his slightly pale-skinned teacher and pointed at the carriage that was slowly driving out of the village. Orochimaru touched Nasuki's head and said, "It doesn't look like it. There is no ninja clan badge hanging on the carriage. It should be the carriage of a wealthy businessman." Speaking of wealthy businessmen, Orochimaru also thought of a boss he knew. "I still remember that at that time I was still learning ninjutsu from my teacher. After the hard training every day, the biggest pleasure was to eat a bowl of Chiba boss's ramen. Moreover, the Chiba boss was different from other businessmen in that he liked to innovate. At that time, experiencing the new flavor of ramen developed by the Chiba boss was one of his greatest joys at Orochimaru. As if he had a tacit understanding, Tetsuya opened the curtains behind the carriage and looked out the window. And Orochimaru also saw the familiar face revealed in the carriage window. Suddenly, Orochimaru's pupils trembled. How is this possible? After so many years, how can the Chiba boss still look like a young man? Could it be that this is not the Chiba boss himself but his descendant? Tetsuya on the carriage also saw Orochimaru and the rope tree on the road at this time. Is that Orochimaru? He's grown up but he doesn't look as dark as in the anime. Who is the young man next to him? Judging from their intimate appearance, could it be Orochimaru's disciple, Tsunade's younger brother Naoki? It looks like it should be. Orochimaru looked at Tetsuya, who smiled back, nodded and closed the curtains. "It's him, it must be Boss Chiba, he recognized me. But why hasn't he aged after so many years? Teacher, what's wrong with you?" The call of the rope tree brought Orochimaru back to his senses. "Haha, it's nothing, the teacher just saw an acquaintance." Orochimaru turned around and smiled, but his eyes were still on the carriage that was going away. "The capital of the Land of Fire, Chiba Hotel. I'm back, did you miss me?" Returning to the tea room on the second floor of the hotel, Jay pushed open the door and greeted with a loud laugh. Izuna, who was sitting behind the coffee table sipping tea, didn't even raise his head. Kakuzu, who was sitting on the side, was looking through the account book. When he heard Tetsuya's voice, he stood up excitedly. "Boss, you're back!" When he saw Jaya, his hands holding the account book couldn't stop shaking. Seeing this scene, Izuna couldn't help but roll his eyes. "If you didn't know, you would think it was called Hyuga Izuna. Where did you find this weirdo? He's a money grubber." He wanted to see the account book right away. If he didn't have the key in his hand, someone would have thought he was here to cause trouble. When Kakuzu came to Chiba Grand Hotel with the key, Izuna thought he was a thief and used Sharingan to control him. However, after careful questioning, it was discovered that this guy was recruited by Jay and was holding a key in his hand. Izuna asked him why he chose to come so late at night, and the guy replied that he was used to it. This means he is Uchiha Izuna, not his brother Uchiha Madara. Otherwise, Kakuzu would have been reduced to ashes by now. Hi, I met Kakuzu on my way back to Konoha. He wanted to trade my head for a bounty at Jinsho, but I thought he was talented, so I recruited him and asked him to follow me. Thank you for your appreciation, boss. Kakuzu did not feel ashamed at all but felt very proud to be recognized by Tetsuya. After all, after looking at the account book, he realized that it was possible to make money this way. A table of food could be equivalent to the money he earned from a mission. If you go on a mission by yourself, you might lose a heart or two, but you don't have to worry about that here. You just have to sit back and wait to collect the money. If Tetsuya knew what Kakuzu was thinking, he would just tell him. This is really too normal. The life of rich people is unimaginable to ordinary people. There are situations where the money for one meal is enough for others to live a lifetime. By the way, why did you come back so soon? Have you finished watching the fun you wanted to see? Ji also sat down beside him and poured himself a cup of tea. No, we went back too early. It's not time for the fun to happen yet. It's not time for fun yet. Have those people from the Hidden Cloud Village cancelled their operation? They just had this idea in mind but haven't officially started yet. It seems that they are still collecting intelligence. After all, at present, Konoha is the strongest among the 5 major ninja villages. If we take action, it will easily lead to revenge from Konoha. After the First World War, Konoha was the village that suffered the least damage. All the other second-generation cages were gone, but Konoha's was still there. Relying on the surviving Senjutaburama, Konoha demanded a lot of benefits from the defeated village to offset the consumption brought by the war and stabilize the development of the village. Nowadays, Konoha is the strongest and most powerful village among the 5 major ninja villages. In addition, Konoha occupies a rich land like the Land of Fire, and its development is smooth. However, this also aroused the jealousy and covetousness of other ninja villages. But this trip to Konoha did not end in vain. I got some very exciting news. What news? Izuna cast a curious look at him. After all, since his resurrection, he had been either helping Tetsuya run his business or just idling away his time, leading a life like a salted fish. As a proud Uchiha and a powerful ninja, he also felt that such days were a bit boring. Tetsuya grinned. I'm afraid a new ninja world war is about to begin. I have a hunch that within 3 years at most, the ninja world will be in a bloody turmoil. When they heard about the Great Ninja War, the expressions of both Izuna and Kakuzu changed. Kakuzu is serious. As someone who witnessed the first ninja war, he knows the cruelty of ninja war. Izuna, on the other hand, is excited to fight. Although he is not a fighting maniac like his brother, as an Uchiha, he is still full of desire for fighting in his bones. He had experienced the chaos of the Warring States period, but at that time their battles were all based on family units. Izuna is still very curious about the current village-based ninja war. He wants to see the difference between the current war and the war of their time. Is there a war in the ninja world? It's really interesting. Do we need to participate? In what situation? Which side are we on? Or should we say that we are participating in the war as one camp alone against the 5 major ninja villages? Tetsuya and Kakuzu looked at Uchiha Izuna at the same time. Kakuzu couldn't help wiping a cold sweat and couldn't help but sigh in his heart. Is this Uchiha Madara's brother? He is really that guy's biological brother, and he is as crazy as his brother Uchiha Madara. But Jaya slapped the table and shouted, "Hey, who are you? You dare to take Izuna's body? Please do it for me." Seeing Tetsuya like this, Kakuzu thought that Izuna had really been taken away by someone. Then Izuna rolled her eyes at Tetsuya and then showed her middle finger. These are all things she learned from Tetsuya over the years. Phew, I was scared to death. I thought you Uchiha Izuna had been taken away. It was just the 3 of us who joined the ninja battle and fought against the 5 great ninja villages. You thought you were your brother Uchiha Madara and I was Senju Hashirama? Are you kidding me? I don't want to fight against the entire ninja world. Kakuzu on the side nodded in approval. He didn't want to just hang out with Chiba's boss and then follow him to die. Then what do you mean? Izuna asked curiously. This guy just said excitedly that the Ninja World War was about to begin. Didn't he want to get involved in this war and become famous in the ninja world? Tetsuya smiled. We are businessmen, it's boring to fight and kill. What I want, of course, is to rely on war and make a big fortune. As he spoke, he stretched out his right hand and rubbed his thumb back and forth on his index and middle fingers. Kakuzu's eyes suddenly lit up. The boss is wise. Besides doing business with high-ranking officials, what other business can bring in quick and big money? Naturally, this is to make war fortune. Hi, so, low-key and low-key. He waved his hands and continued. The question now is, since we know before others that a war will break out in the near future, how should we use this information gap to make money? Kakuzu said as he clapped his hands. Boss, I have a plan. Oh, do you have a plan? Tell me. Kakuzu said very confidently, hoard food. When a war breaks out, food is the fastest rising commodity. As long as we hoard enough food, as soon as a war breaks out, what we hoard is not food, it is simply gold. Tetsuya nodded. Grain storage is indeed a good choice, and since we run a hotel, there will be no problem even if we hoard food on a large scale. Seeing that Tetsuya agreed with his idea, Kakuzu had already begun to calculate how to store food and how many granaries should be built. As expected of Kakuzu, as long as he can make money, his enthusiasm for work is absolutely top-notch. But I think besides stocking up on food, there is another thing we can plan for. What? Kakuzu looked at Tetsuya curiously. He also wanted to know what else could make money besides hoarding food before the war came. Izuna, how did you do with the things I asked you to do before? No need to ask, I am Uchiha Izuna, this is what you want. Although Izuna's character is considered to be the better among Uchiha, as an Uchiha that special pride is always engraved in their bones. As he spoke, he took out several documents from the drawer of the cabinet nearby. This is the land deed for the largest blacksmith shop in the capital, as well as the transfer documents for the blacksmith shops in several surrounding cities. This is the contract for the iron ore cooperation in the country of fire. Contracts were placed on the table one after another, and Kakuzu, who was extremely keen on money, immediately smelled the problem. Boss, are you planning to hoard iron ore? Tetsuya grinned. Yes, I just plan to hoard iron ore. Oh, I asked you why you wanted me to buy a blacksmith shop. I thought you were going to switch to selling farm tools. Izuna suddenly realized that although he thought a lot when he received Tetsuya's mission, he did not know that a war was about to break out in the ninja world before that, so he did not think about hoarding supplies. But now that I think about it carefully, it turns out that he planned to hoard iron ore, and the acquisition of the blacksmith shop was just a cover for his own hoarding of iron ore. Wonderful, really wonderful. Kakuzu clicked his tongue in surprise. Once the major ninja villages have the intention to launch a war, they will inevitably increase the production of ninja tools. Although the top ninja tools require some rare ores in addition to fine iron, most of the ninja tools used by ninjas, such as senbon, kunai, shuriken, etc., only require fine iron. With the large-scale production of ninja tools, the iron ore needed by those ninja villages will increase. The more severe the situation in the ninja world, the higher the demand for iron ore will be. As a result, the value of iron ore will also increase. When the time comes, relying on the iron ore hoarded in our hands, we will be able to make a lot of money. You are right. Even if there is a chance, we will directly cover the iron ore flowing on the market. How to sell the iron ore and at what price to buy it, isn't it all our decision? Tetsuya laughed as he spoke. Kakuzu also laughed in agreement. Hahaha, this is the capital monopoly you told me about before, boss, right? Exactly. With that said, Tetsuya looked at Kakuzu and said, Kakuzu, I have a mission for you. Boss, just ask, I will do my best. Very good. Tetsuya took out a banknote, and the numbers on the banknote made Kakuzu's 5 hearts beat wildly at the same time. You have been walking in the ninja world for so many years, you should have mastered many channels. I need you to hoard as much iron ore as possible on the market in other countries. Taking the banknote, Kakuzu nodded solemnly. I see. Since you want to play Monopoly, then just a Fire Nation is definitely not enough. If you want to play bigger. Even if they cannot monopolize the iron ore on the market, they still have to hoard most of the ores circulating on the market. Tetsuya could already imagine how high the price of iron ore on the market would be when the major ninja villages began to frantically build ninja tools in the early days of the war. As for whether his doing this will usher in the revenge of the major ninja villages. Are you kidding me? Is he afraid of something like this? Not to mention that neither Izuna nor Kakuzu's own strength is comparable to that of ordinary ninjas. Secondly, his interactions with the damning mansion of the Fire Country over the years were not a waste of time. Okay, let's arrange it like this. Kakuzu will collect the iron ore that is flowing in other countries outside of the Fire Country. I will contact the daimyo and ask him to provide us with the iron ore produced from the Fire Country's veins first. Izuna, you will be in charge, stock up on food. Saying that, Tetsuya stood up. Everyone, as long as the ninja war breaks out, we will gain unprecedented wealth. Are you ready to get rich? I'm ready. Kakuzu shouted excitedly as if he had seen mountains of gold and silver waving to him. Izuna, on the other hand, was thoughtful. After you finish this job, will you be able to resurrect my brother? Time flies. Tetsuya collects almost all the iron ore from the Land of Fire according to the plan, and Kakuzu lives up to Tetsuya's expectations, continuously transporting seal scrolls back from other countries, and among these seal scrolls are mountains of iron ore and refined iron. At the same time, the Chiba Hotel was also undergoing an expansion. In the name of expansion, a granary was built, and a large amount of food was sent into the granary. Not only the Chiba Hotel in the capital but also the Chiba Ramen Shop, Chiba Fried Chicken Shop, and Chiba Milk Tea Shop that Tetsuya has opened in major prosperous cities in the Land of Fire over the past few years all began to hoard food just to wait until the second time. The Ninja World War is coming. As time goes by, the development of various countries becomes more and more unbalanced. With the development of the major ninja villages, the internal conflicts intensify and the fighting factions among the ninja villages begin to rise. What should we do when the development of a country or a village cannot meet internal needs? Two options are to develop internal productivity and increase production to meet demand. Either launch a foreign war and use war to plunder external resources to meet internal needs. Obviously, for the ninjas in the ninja village, their only choice is to launch a foreign war and mediate the internal conflicts in the village through foreign war. In the 34th year of Konoha, the friction between the major powers intensified, and the smoke of war began to fill the ninja world. In the 35th year of Konoha, a ninja team from Konoha had a conflict with a ninja team from Earth Country, and the two sides started fighting. In this fight, Tetsuya's old friend Hatake Sakuya died. The death of Hatake Sakuya intensified the conflicts between the ninja villages, and more ninjas were sent to the border of the Land of Fire, including Orochimaru. Now that things have developed, everyone in the ninja world knows that a new round of ninja war is about to break out. For a time, the price of food in the ninja world skyrocketed, multiplying several times. At the same time, major ninja villages also started an arms race and began to vigorously produce ninja tools to cope with the upcoming ninja war. The price of iron skyrocketed. Kakuzu went crazy with joy when he heard the news. Boss, we are getting rich, getting rich." Kakuzu opened the door of the tea room and danced excitedly. In the tea room, Tetsuya and Izuna drank tea calmly. Kakuzu, calm down, learn to be calm. As long as the ninja world is not destroyed, we must learn to treat it calmly, do you understand? I understand, boss, I am too excited. Kakuzu took a few deep breaths and finally calmed down his excitement. Sure enough, my choice to follow my boss was the most correct choice I made in my life. Just this time, relying on the money earned from hoarding food and iron ore, I'm afraid I won't be able to earn so much even if I complete all the tasks of the gold exchange. Come sit down and drink tea. Tetsuya poured Kakuzu a cup of tea. Kakuzu said after sitting down and taking a sip. Boss, several groups of people have approached us. They hope we can sell iron ore to them and they are willing to pay 30% more. How many waves of people are there? Kakuzu thought about it carefully. Well, 4 waves of people except Kirigakure village are here from the other 4 major ninja villages. Boss, do you need me to hold an auction and let them bid? It has to be said that as long as it involves making money, Kakuzu's mind is active. The ninja war is about to break out, and this guy actually wants to recruit people from the 4 major ninja villages to hold an auction to make money. Tetsuya shook his head. No, if you do it like this, it's a bit too much. It's easy to get into trouble, then we just sold it at the price they gave us. That's not possible. In this case, you tell them and add 0.5%. Clear. Kakuzu nodded. Even if they only added 0.5%, it would still be a lot of money based on their current inventory. By the way, remember to give these 4 companies similar products. Don't sell to one family alone and don't sell less to one family. Do you understand? I see. In response, Kakuzu left happily. Izuna asked, why do you want to sell similar goods to 4 companies? Can't you just sell the goods to one company individually? Tetsuya smiled. This is called equilibrium. Based on our current iron ore stock and the current price, no one can take all the iron in our hands alone. In a country, if someone can really eat the inventory in our hands, just imagine how many ninja tools can be made with so much iron. If so many ninja tools are put into the war, I am afraid it will have a negative impact on the war situation. Small impact. This is not what I want to see if one side has too big an advantage. After all, the longer they fight, the more we can earn, right? Hearing Tetsuya's words, Izuna couldn't help but be speechless. You are really scary. In the Ninja World War, the ninjas from various villages paid their blood and lives, but when they came to you, they became your business. If they knew this, I'm afraid they would do whatever they could to do it. Come and kill you. Oh, what you said is wrong. Was it me who initiated the Great Ninja War? Tetsuya spread his hands and shrugged. No, they are the ones who started the war. I also want peace in the ninja world so that I can do business well. But they don't want to. They are the ones who want to start the war. I just took it. This war only made me a small fortune. After all, I am a businessman. How can a businessman not make money? Izuna was silent. He picked up the teacup and took a sip of tea. After a long silence, he spoke. To tell you something you may not want to hear, I can't resurrect Uchiha Madara for the time being. Izuna frowned upon hearing this. My ability to resurrect people is limited. I have a special order of resurrection. I can only resurrect others in a specific order. Then who can you resurrect now? Tetsuya grinned. An old acquaintance of yours, Senju Tabarama. Senju Tabarama is born evil. How could he be this guy? When Izuna heard the name, he suddenly became angry. This hateful Bai Mao, even if I die, I will never forget that he stabbed me in the back in a sneak attack. This is a mortal enemy. In the true sense of the word, I was killed by him. Why is it this guy? Can't you resurrect others first? Ji also spread his hands. No, that's why I didn't resurrect the second person even though I saved enough money before. Once I resurrect Senju Tabarama, he will most likely run back to Konoha directly to help Konoha develop. Uchiha Izuna clenched his fists, stood up and paced back and forth. Do you think this will work? Then you can resurrect him and then the two of us will join forces to kill this guy. Hearing this, Tetsuya could only say 6. There is no one left in this brain circuit. Resurrect the opponent first and then kill the opponent. I'm afraid this won't work. I resurrected you. As long as I don't die, you won't die. There is also the second half of the sentence that Jaya didn't say, that is, he has the immortal body of the evil god and theoretically cannot die. Then how about sealing him? Well, why don't we wait until the Ninja World War is over? All right. Izuna sighed. It seems that the seal is not very effective. With the talents of the naturally evil Senju Tabarama, I am afraid that no seal can seal him. Although I really don't want to admit it, that guy's brain is a little bit better than ordinary people. Give him enough time, who knows what kind of magic he will come up with. After all, he can even develop insidious moves like Flying Thunder God Slash. Tetsuya smiled, and it was obvious that Izuna's opinion of Tabarama was not that big. What would happen if he knew that he had used his name to save Tabarama's life? After thinking about it, Jay decided not to tell the other person. The contradictions in the ninja world are becoming more and more serious. Especially with the large amount of iron ore and food, each ninja village has directly increased its investment in the front line. There is food and equipment. If you don't increase investment at this time, what are you waiting for? Waiting for others? Should we invest more first? However, I am afraid that what I didn't expect was that not only one of their villages purchased grain and iron ore, but also that the grain and iron ore they bought came from the same person. The wealth of the 4 major ninja villages went to the same person at the same time, and the Kakuzu people who collected the money almost died laughing. "Boss, we are getting rich, we are really getting rich. All the money from the 4 ninja villages is in our hands." "I can't even dream of it." Kakuzu took the seal scroll and placed it on the coffee table. He was smiling so much that his grin almost reached the back of his head. Jay smiled, opened the scroll and checked it. All the things sealed in the scroll were money. Even he couldn't help but be a little excited when he saw so much money. Putting down the scroll, he asked vigilantly, "Well done, you didn't leave any tail for them to catch." "Don't worry, boss, they will never find out that the person selling them the things is actually the same person," Kakuzu said with a wicked smile. "Very good, Kakuzu, I really saw you right." Tetsuya nodded in approval, then took out a key and threw it to Kakuzu. "This is the key to the vault. If you need money in the future, you can get it yourself. Just keep a record of how much you get." After taking the key, Kakuzu was in a daze and was stunned for a long time. Vault, key to the vault." He didn't expect Tetsuya to directly hand over the key to the vault to him. Does he trust him so much? This feeling is really great. "Thank you, boss, for your trust." Kakuzu knelt down to Tetsuya excitedly. Hey, don't act like this. Didn't I tell you from the beginning we are partners, not a master-servant relationship? Get up quickly." Tetsuya quickly helped Kakuzu up. Kakuzu said gratefully, "Boss, Kakuzu is willing to do his best for the boss until he dies." A man dies for a man who knows himself, and a woman looks good for a man who pleases her. Kakuzu thought it was good that Tetsuya was willing to give him a share, but he didn't expect that he would directly give him the key to the vault. For a person like him who loves money, this really thinks too highly of himself. "Okay, I don't want you to die, I want you to live. The time is still long and there will be many opportunities for us to make money in the future." "The boss is right, I want to live well, make good money and make more money." Kakuzu's eyes lit up when he heard Tetsuya say there were still opportunities to make money. Seeing Kakuzu's condition, Tetsuya was very satisfied. The reason why he dared to hand over the key to the vault to Kakuzu was simple. He was a money fanatic, an extremely stingy money fanatic. Making money is his biggest hobby, but spending money is not. If you give him the key to the vault, he will live in it at most, but if he is asked to spend money, he really won't do that. "Kakuzu, you have been running outside during this period. You should know the situation outside." "How far has the war between countries developed now?" Kakuzu recalled it carefully and then said, "The battle situation is very anxious and there are frictions between all parties. I have to say that Konoha, as the biggest winner of the first ninja war, has indeed become stronger after these years of development, and the war is on 3 fronts at the same time. However, the other major ninja villages are not weak in strength. Now they are in a stalemate. It is not known which side will be the first to break the balance." As he spoke, Kakuzu suddenly thought of something and smiled. "Boss, I remembered a very interesting piece of information." "What information makes you laugh like this?" Ji was also a little curious. Kakuzu replied, "Just 2 days before I came back, on the frontline battlefield, Senju, the grandson of Konoha's first Hokage, died being blown up by a detonating talisman. Funny or not, first Hokage's grandson, a 12-year-old genius ninja, was killed by a detonating talisman. It seems that the Senju family is really inferior to the previous generation, or in other words, the appearance of Hashirama and Tobirama back then was a complete accident." As he spoke, he shook his head with some emotion. "Senju Hashirama is so powerful. He is also a hero who became famous at a young age. How come his grandchildren were killed by the detonating talisman? Can something like an explosive charm really kill people? The rope tree is dead." Tetsuya recalled Orochimaru and the rope tree beside Orochimaru he saw on the road when he left Konoha that day. He couldn't help but shook his head. It was really fate. Life is really fragile, but fortunately I will never die. Not to mention detonating charms, not even tandem paper bombs can blow you up. Hearing the word Senju, Izuna, who had been sitting aside drinking tea, also raised his head. "Senju Hashirama's grandson? Yes, Senju Hashirama seems to have a grandson and a granddaughter. The granddaughter is one of the disciples of the third Hokage and is currently on another battlefield. HMPH, you deserve it. Izuna snorted. Neither my brother nor I left any blood inheritance, but Senju, who was born evil, actually has a grandson. The death of the rope tree, no matter what the reason, will inevitably arouse the anger of the people of Konoha. I am afraid that the offensive of Konoha will be even more fierce. Indeed, Kakuzu nodded. Before I came back, I had seen Konoha sending a large number of ninjas to the front line. I heard that Jiraiya, the disciple of the third Hokage, had been retrieved and sent to the battlefield. If nothing else goes wrong, the three proud disciples of the third Hokage will gather on the front line and the war will become more intense. Fight, fight anyway, no matter how hard they fight, the war will never burn down the capital. Ji also took a sip of tea and then said, "How's it going? Have you contacted Yuyan Village? We got in touch. You are indeed the boss. Everything is as the boss thought. Sancho Hanzo, the leader of Yuyan Village, is willing to buy the blades we made and they also plan to get involved." Normal. Hearing that Sancho Hanzo was willing to buy their equipment, Tetsuya showed a satisfied smile. He is an ambitious man and has always aspired to become the leader of the sixth largest ninja village. Moreover, the three major countries of Wind, Fire, and Earth used their Kingdom of Rain as a battlefield to fight. The people of the Kingdom of Rain were displaced and suffered heavy casualties. It is said that he has half hidden the pepper fish, but as long as the leader of Yuyan Village is a bloody person, he will choose to fight. It's just that no matter how hard Sancho Hanzo struggles, he can't change anything. Izuna nodded in approval. Judging from the geographical location of Rain Shinobi Village, the Land of Rain is a natural battlefield for the three great powers of Wind, Fire, and Earth during wartime, and it can also serve as a buffer zone for the three great powers during peacetime. If you want to change all this, unless one person can stand up and defeat the three major countries. Saying that, Izuna looked at Tetsuya with an inquiring look. In his opinion, in order to defeat the three kingdoms, in addition to his brothers Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama, Chiba Tetsuya should also be able to do it. Tetsuya didn't pay attention to Izuna's gaze but took out a map and spread it on the coffee table. But then again, if it works well, the location of Rain Shinobi Village will actually develop very quickly. A small country is connected to three large countries and three small countries and is close to 6 countries. It is absolutely possible to open up post roads and become a transportation hub connecting countries and a trade center for mutual trade between countries. As long as the trade routes are opened up, the country of Rain can completely rely on commerce to establish a country. It only needs to collect customs duties and commercial taxes to make a lot of money. Kakuzu also studied it carefully and found that it was really like this. The three major countries all have their own special products and needs. You only need to be a middleman to purchase the corresponding products from each country and then resell them to the countries in need. Isn't this a money-making business? Thinking of this, Kakuzu's eyes suddenly lit up. Boss, let's go and defeat the Kingdom of Rain. Hearing Kakuzu's words, Tetsuya couldn't help but cough twice. Do you know what you are talking about, fighting the Land of Rain, just the three of us? Yes, I believe that with the boss's strength and the assistance of Mr. Izuna and I, it will not be a problem to get rid of Sancho Hanzo, take over Rain Shinobi Village and rule the Land of Rain. Rule a country? Izuna thought about it carefully and it seemed that it was not impossible. During the Warring States period, when the major ninja clans were fighting each other, Izuna thought about relying on the superior strength of their Uchiha clan to conquer a country. According to his judgment, it should be feasible to rely on his brother's strength and his own assistance. It's just that his brother was bewitched by that hateful guy Senju Hashirama in the end. He obviously had the strength to conquer a country, but he went to build some kind of ninja village. It was really ridiculous, but it makes no sense to say this now. He was already dead before the ninja village was established. Shortly after the establishment of Ninja Village, his brother also died. Hey, you two, aren't you serious? Tetsuya couldn't help but slap his forehead when he saw the two people's reactions. You two, don't mess with me. Things can't be that simple, we are still fighting. Ninjas from the three great kingdoms of wind, fire, and earth have gathered in the Kingdom of Rain. The Kingdom of Rain also has the hidden rain village led by Hanzo. Even if this is not the time to conquer the land of rain. You say, even if we push forward now, kill Hanzo, take over the rain hidden village and rule the Kingdom of Rain, what will the three major powers of wind, fire, and earth think of us? What will the other ninja villages think? What will the famous names think? Do you think they will allow people as unconventional as us to exist? After listening to Tetsuya's words, Kakuzu also sighed and said with some regret. Indeed, if we do this, we will undoubtedly provoke the entire ninja world, and by that time we will become the public enemy of the ninja world. Public enemy of the ninja world, that's not a good title. We are businessmen, and the most important thing for a businessman is to make money, right? If we do what you say, how can we still make money? Kakuzu nodded again. If he became a public enemy of the ninja world, he wouldn't be able to make money. He couldn't exchange his head for money at a gold exchange. Seeing that the two of them had put away the idea of going to the land of rain now, Jaya breathed a sigh of relief. It's crazy to go to the land of rain now. Uchiha Madara is still alive. He probably just found Nagato to store his samsara eye. If he goes to the land of rain, he will probably have to lure Uchiha Madara out. Uchiha Madara is also accompanied by an old Yin Guan Haizetsu. Although this thing has no ability, it is basically unkillable, and exposing their existence prematurely now will most likely attract the attention of another old coin, Otsutsuki Ishiki. This old guy, Yishi, has been looking for a suitable target to seize the body. Maybe that old Yin Shun would be tempted by me. After all, my body now is probably one of the best in the ninja world. Before he finds the ability to restrain Otsutsuki's dog-skin plaster-like wedge, he doesn't want to be targeted by this old guy Ishiki. After all, I am already strong enough now and I don't need a portable grandpa to guide me to become stronger. Besides, having a Erha around is annoying enough. Oh my dear master, are you thinking of me? A mean voice sounded and a virtual Erha appeared in front of Tetsuya. The expression on Tetsuya's face stiffened for a moment. Okay Kakuzu, you have traveled all over the ninja world during this period of time, take a good rest for 2 days. Let the kitchen cook what you want to eat, I will go back and lie down. After that, Tetsuya left the tea room. Izuna and Kakuzu were the only two people left in the tea room. Kakuzu glanced at Izuna and Izuna looked at Kakuzu and then took out a chessboard. Can you play Go? Kakuzu glanced at the chessboard. Understand a little bit. Back in his room, Tetsuya's face suddenly fell. Dog System, you little brat, are you eavesdropping on my thoughts? Erha showed a puzzled expression. Oh my dear master, what are you talking about? How could I do such a thing? Then why did you run out just after I cursed you in my mind? Master, how could you do this? I helped you become stronger in the ninja world, but you actually scolded me in your heart. If the second Ha is sad, the second Ha is crying, and the second Ha is wronged. Okay, then why don't you explain why you suddenly ran out? Erha saw that there was no point in pretending to be wronged, so he immediately put away his acting skills and showed a mean smile. What is that? This Erha smells the smell of money. Master, it seems that you have made a fortune recently. Erha is here to congratulate you. How about a draw? Yes, co-authoring Erha is for money. Tetsuya sat down on the bed, leaning against the soft mattress. I said, haha, the two of us have been together for 10 or 20 years. I have almost drawn all the good things in the highest level prize pool. If nothing else, I only have ninjutsu. I'm afraid ninjutsu has gathered ninjutsu from all sects in the ninja world. What else can I draw? The 05Ka chakra or the 05Ka pupil power? When Erha saw this, he rubbed his hands confidently. Oh my dear master, you are too young, your world is too small. Open up your mind a little more, take a longer view, and don't let your eyes stay on this tiny ninja world. Ben Guzi said it at the beginning, I have everything that the ninja world has and I also have what the ninja world doesn't have. Tetsuya raised his eyebrows. Then you've only given me ninjutsu and things from the ninja world for so many years. I thought these were the only things in your prize pool. Hey, don't be angry, Master. I'm doing this for your own good. Take a look at your current ninjutsu collection and your understanding of ninjutsu. Sarutobi Hiruzen is nothing but Professor Ninjutsu. Compared with you, he is just a new apprentice. Master, you are Professor Ninjutsu. Okay, stop flattering me. Let me ask you a question. Do you know the secret of the Otsutsuki clan? Look at what you said. Didn't I say before that there is nothing in the ninja world that I can't find here? Then I want to be immune to the wedge, or do you have a method to target the wedge? This is too simple. The Erha dog waved its paw, and a large turntable glowing with metallic green light appeared in front of Tetsuya's eyes. My dear master, please see, your consumption over the years has reached a new level, so I have applied for a new card drawing prize pool for you, which I call the Platinum Wheel. Looking at the big turntable in front of him, the corners of Jay's eyes twitched twice. Hey Guzi, you are really good at playing. All the good things about love are hidden in here. The big platinum turntable are there emerald turntables and diamond turntables behind it. The huge platinum turntable stopped rotating and Ji also received 10 brand new rewards. Of course, he also spent a lot of money. Guzi, you are such a fool. You gave me a 10-fold increase in the previous 3 levels of turntables. The 3rd level gold turntable is only 100 times more expensive than the 1st level bronze turntable. That's all. Damn it, the platinum turntable is directly 100 times more expensive than the gold turntable. Even if I have money, I can't afford such consumption. It is true that Jay is rich now, but he can't bear such consumption. Looking at the reduced wealth, Jaya couldn't help but take a breath of cold air and wince in distress. Fortunately, this time I made a lot of money by relying on war fortune. You can't say it so early, master. The things in this new prize pool are all good things. Just tell me which thing in it is not worth the price. If you put these things outside, there will be no market. The price is great. If you want to spend money to buy it, no one else has this opportunity. Guzi said this with a frank look on his face. He was indeed right. After all, this platinum pool even has a Jido statue, and he also drew a tailed beast, by the way. This is the rhythm that intends to directly let Tetsuya draw cards to reach the 6 Paths realm. Indeed, the things I drew this time are indeed good things. Even the reward for making up the numbers is Sage Jutsu Chakra, Tetsuya asked while looking at himself. No, what do you mean by Hashirama cells without side effects? It literally means the same as normal Hashirama cells but without the side effects of normal Hashirama cells. Side effects? You mean Hashirama's face tattoo? This counts. This side effect-free version of gradual cells does not have any abnormal effects when used. It will not be swallowed up by Hashirama cells and turn into trees. It will not turn pale like white Zetsu, nor will it grow a pillar on your body, between the faces. Oh, that's it? Jay nodded and then he said again, but what is the use of this thing for me, not to mention that I have a fairy body and I also have an evil god's immortal body. The self-healing ability does not require Hashirama cells. As for chakra, I am not lacking. Master, you don't lack this thing, but you can give it to others. Master, you are not alone. In the future, you will need your own team to unify the ninja world, okay? Siha, don't tell me this is really the truth. Tetsuya nodded. He did use it a lot and he could save it for Izuna or Kakuzu when the time comes. But then again, Kakuzu's whole body has been replaced by the tentacles of the earthly resentment. Are Hashirama's cells still useful to him? This is a question worth thinking about and try again. Then tell me what this Mangekyo Sharingan means. Simply put, it is a strengthening material. Guzi explained the function of this Mangekyo Sharingan very simply and clearly. A Mangekyo Sharingan needs a blood relative's Mangekyo Sharingan to be upgraded and evolved into an eternal Mangekyo. A kinship Mangekyo Sharingan can be seen as a Mangekyo Sharingan of a non-existent brother of yours. It can perfectly match the user and help the user ascends to eternal Mangekyo. Oh, come to think of it, it really is an upgrade material. Fine, save it for Izuna so that he doesn't have to go and take out Uchiha Madara's eyes later. Suddenly he seemed to think of something. Hey. Brother's eyes, Hashirama's cells, Izuna can upgrade the Samsara eye. In theory, it is possible, but master, why don't you keep it for yourself? Ji also smiled and said very wisely. After Uchiha Madara bit Hashirama and faked his death, how many years did it take for him to upgrade to a pair of samsara eyes? He wasted his own energy to death. I won't do something that takes so much time. So, Master, are you planning to let Izuna upgrade his Rinnegan and then when the time comes you can just take his ready-made pair? Tusk Guzi, how could you do this? Why didn't I realize you were so selfish before? Erha, black question mark face. No, why do you call me so selfish? I've already given the things away, why should I take them back? They're just Rinnegan. When Otsutsuki comes to the ninja world in the future, I can have as many as I want. I can just hold them down and pluck out their eyeballs. As he said this, Ji also looked at Erha and said, didn't you say that you have everything that the ninja world has and you also have things that the ninja world doesn't have? Then I can just draw out a pair of samsara eyes when the time comes. Erha was stunned for a moment and thought carefully, Tusk, that makes sense, you are worthy of being your master. Erha is still very happy about this. Ji also wants to draw the Rinnegan, which means that before the Rinnegan comes out he will definitely recharge money continuously. As long as you have money, everything is easy. His Erha system only recognizes money and not people. By the way, Guzi, I have another question. Please go ahead. Ji had just spent a lot of money on it, so naturally it had to show its attitude. I drew the Jido statue and Three Tails Isabu. Does that mean the ninja world is missing a Three Tails and a Jido statue? No, the Jido statue and Three Tails Isabu produced by our company are from other places. They are not the original tailed beasts and Jido statue of this ninja world. Oh, I see. I thought if this Jido statue was the one from the ninja world without the Jido statue to extend his life, then old Madara would have died early and Sasuke would have been born before Naruto. Not only that, if the Jido statue is gone, will the 5 Spirit Kings not be disabled? Well, it's possible that they can't even survive 3 battles. Dear Master, do you have any questions? If not, then this service ends here. Erha looks like a heartless B*******D who has just had his pants pulled up and doesn't recognize anyone. Go away, I'm fine now. Goodbye, see you next time when I recharge. Without any hesitation, Erha disappeared directly in front of Jaya. What a dog that only cares about money and not people. What a dog. The country of rain, the village hidden in the rain. Heavy rain enveloped the entire ninja village. In the tallest building in the Hidden Rain village, Sanshoyu Hanzo and his cronies were looking at the map of the Land of Rain to discuss the current situation. Chief, this is the latest disaster situation. A war broke out between the ninja troops of the country of fire and the puppet troops of the country of wind in a village on the front line. The village was destroyed by the war and our people only had time to respond. A small number of villagers evacuated. As he spoke, the ninja couldn't help but clenched his fists, his eyes full of resentment and unwillingness. There is obviously a conflict between 2 big countries. Why is it that it is their small country that is hurt? Just because they are caught in the middle of these big countries, are they destined to become their battlefield? Another ninja came forward to report. Chief, we have contacted the buyers on the black market. They are willing to provide us with ninja tools and equipment. Moreover, they gave us 10% of the goods first and they will continue to send us the rest. Several trusted ninjas continued to report the latest information. Sanshoyu Hanzo sat in the main seat without saying a word, just listening silently. Call. Hanzo, the masked Sanshoyu, let out a long sigh of relief. This ninja world is cruel. If we, the Rain country, are sandwiched in the middle of 3 big countries, we will inevitably become their battlefield. For the sake of their own interests, the big countries will make the small countries suffer. However, from now on, I, Sanshoyu Hanzo, will not allow this to happen. I want to return all the pain that those big countries have inflicted on us. Send my order to all the ninjas in Yuyan village to prepare for war. When the equipment arrives, we will declare war on these big countries. Even if our Yuyan village is destroyed, we also want these big countries to feel our pain. Yes, N. The crowd is furious and they have endured too much pain. If it were before, even if they endured the pain, they would have nowhere to vent. But things are different now. The appearance of Sanshoyu Hanzo allows them to see a possibility, a brand new possibility. The war is still going on, but the three parties fighting in the Kingdom of Rain never thought that a fourth party would soon join the battlefield. The country of fire, the outskirts of the capital, Jay was in the mountains and forests where he was on vacation. A huge blue Susan Titan collided with a huge golden Susan Titan. Just one collision erupted with astonishing power, and the terrifying impact tore the woods apart. The forest in front of them was already in a mess due to the battle between the two people. This shows how fierce the battle between the two Susanas was. The next moment, the two Susanoo giants simultaneously drew out their giant swords and slashed at each other. Dang tilde. The moment the giant swords collided, there seemed to be a loud noise, but there seemed to be no sound at all, or perhaps the sound erupted from the collision had exceeded the limit that humans could accept. Hey, Izuna, how are you feeling? Are there any changes in your eyes? Susanna disappeared and Tetsuya jumped extremely hard and came to Izuna's side. Izuna stood there, his whole body aura different from before. If Izuna was as calm as water and as proud as ice before, then now he is as full of murderous aura as the Death Star. Especially his eyes, the original Mangekyo Sharingan has changed. The original Mangekyo was black and blood red with a black rounded pupil, and three cylindrical branches, one upper and one lower, connected the edges of the pupil. But now his Mangekyo Sharingan has changed. The original hollow ring in the middle of the blood-colored pupils has become three hollow Magatama connected end to end. If this were Uchiha Madara here, he would definitely exclaim, Izuna's pair of eternal Mangekyo are almost exactly the same as his previous eternal Mangekyo. The similarity is inevitable. After all, Uchiha Madara and Uchiha Izuna are brothers, and Uchiha Madara's eternal Mangekyo was upgraded using Izuna's eyes. The parent Mangekyo used by Izuna is produced by Erha. This pair of Mangekyo is theoretically the most suitable for Izuna and the most perfect material for upgrading into an eternal Mangekyo. Still not. Can the cells you injected into me really allow my eternal Mangekyo to evolve into the legendary Samsara Eye? Those are the eyes of a sage. Hey, what's the Samsara Eye? What's the fairy eye? I still have a fairy body. Tetsuya groped his chin and looked into Izuna's eyes carefully. Is there really no change? It's not like there's no change at all. Izuna reached up and covered her right eye. I can feel that the pupil power of my eyes is increasing every moment. This feeling is not the feeling of recovery after consuming my pupil power. It is more like the upper limit of my pupil power is constantly increasing, although it's subtle, but the change is real. That's right, Tetsuya nodded with satisfaction, patted Izuna on the shoulder and said, maybe when the pupil power of your eyes grows to a certain limit it will cause a qualitative change and maybe you can evolve into the Samsara Eye by then. You're right, maybe the eternal Mangekyo can really evolve into the Samsara Eye, but it just takes time. Just as Tetsuya and Izuna were studying the eternal Mangekyo, the ground beneath their feet suddenly stirred. A weasel emerged from the ground. Hey, 1 against 7, why are you hungry here? The yellow weasel known as 1 to 7 shook his head. Boss, that tentacle monster asked me to send you a message. Oh, Kakuzu's letter, is it what happened in the land of rain? As he spoke, Tetsuya took the letter, then took out a seal scroll with his backhand and threw it to the 7. You worked hard and this is your reward. Thank you, boss. 7 held the scroll in great joy. Otherwise, what is stored in the seal scroll is the chicken that the Yellow Weasel clan likes to eat most. All kinds of chicken, roasted chicken, grilled chicken, hand-shredded chicken, saliva chicken, white-cut chicken, etc. After Tetsuya got rich, he never lost money to the Weasel clan, who signed a contract with him and sent a lot of food to the Weasel clan. The Yellow Weasel clan is also very strict about rules. After receiving Jay's things, they must do things for Jay. But now Jaya doesn't have any use for the Huang Weasel clan in battle, so Mr. Huang simply asked the younger members of the clan to come over and help Jaya do some errands. The Weasel clan is good at stealth, transformation, and genjutsu. It wouldn't be too convenient for them to run an errand and deliver something. This is also one of the reasons why Tetsuya and his gang have not been discovered by the major ninja villages in their large-scale acquisition and sale of grain and iron ore. Opening the envelope, Tetsuya was curious about what happened on the front line. Izuna also came over and took a quick glance to get a rough idea. This Sanshoyu Hanzo has something special. He actually repelled the attack of Earth Country. Tsuchikage announced that it would withdraw from the war. On the battlefield of the Land of Rain, Sancho Hanzo led Rain Shinobi Village to appear. Sancho relied on his poisonous mist to directly repel the Iwagakure army. The tactic that Iwagakure is best at is explosive troops, relying on the numerical advantage and the number of people in the military formation Earth style to sweep the battlefield. This style of play that relied on the number of people to release overwhelming ninjutsu made Iwagakure invincible on the battlefield, but encountering a battlefield killer like Sancho Hanzo made Iwagakure suffer a big loss. The poisonous mist of Sancho Hanzo likes your style of fighting in groups. A piece of poisonous mist can cover all of you. Yanian village is not good at using poison and detoxification. If we continue to fight, we will not get any benefits except increasing casualties. In the end, 3rd Tsuchikage Onoki made a decision and chose to withdraw his troops from the country of rain and stay at the border of the country of earth. The military morale of the people in Yuyan village who successfully repelled the Earth Kingdom was greatly boosted, which made them even more convinced that following Sancho Hanzo was the right choice. Only Sancho Hanzo can change everything. Having won a great victory, the army of Aimgakure village turned their spearhead and attacked Sunagakure village of the Wind Country and Konoha village of the Fire Country. However, things did not go so smoothly in these two battlefields. The reason is very simple. Chiyo from Sunagakure village is a master of poisoning, and he quickly developed an antidote to the poisonous mist of Sancho Fish Hanzo. On the other side of Konoha, the disciple of the 3rd generation, the granddaughter of Senju Hashirama and the princess of the Land of Fire, Tsunadeheim joined the battlefield. Tsunade, the grandmaster of medical skills, quickly cracked the toxin of the Sanchu fish. Although they encountered setbacks and Sancho Hanzo's poisonous mist tactics were not as effective against Iwagakure, the ninjas of the Land of Rain, under the leadership of Sancho Hanzo, united as one and were bound to drive out the invaders from these big countries. These people under the command of Sancho Hanzo also broke out with quite astonishing fighting power. Even when they encountered the elites of Konoha and Sunagakure, they were still extremely brave. In addition, Sunagakure and Konoha were also attacking each other. For a while, it seemed that Sancho Hanzo had a slight advantage in 1 versus 2. Looking at the intelligence coming back from these angles, Ji also gained a new understanding of the development of World War II. Tetsuya's eyes suddenly lit up and he raised his eyebrows and asked Izuna beside him. Izuna, how do you think the situation of this war will change now that things have developed now? Hearing Tetsuya's question, Izuna thought seriously. I think that although it seems that Hanzo from the Land of Rain has the upper hand now, it is really remarkable that a small country living in the middle can fight against 2 big countries. But the disadvantages of a small country are there, and I'm afraid Sanshoyu Hanzo's advantage will not last long. The country of Rain cannot supply Sancho Hanzo and the others to fight for a long time. After all, their country is so poor and its production capacity is limited. Moreover, the reason why they are able to take advantage now is because the 3 families of Wind, Fire, and Earth have been fighting for a long time and consumed a lot of manpower and material resources. As long as Sunagakure village and Konoha village calm down and reach an agreement, they will first eliminate this guy who is interfering, and then the 2 great powers of Wind and Fire will decide the final winner on the territory of Rain Country. After all, the war has been going on so far and it will not benefit anyone if it continues to drag on. The right choice is to decide the final winner as quickly as possible. Izuna's analysis is quite accurate. After all, during the Warring States period, his position among the Uchiha clan was the think tank of Uchiha Madara. Izuna is responsible for making suggestions and formulating big strategic policies and plans, and what Uchiha Madara needs to be responsible for is to lead the Uchiha clan with strong strength, and then lead the Uchiha clan to implement Izuna's tactics. Your analysis is very good, but have you ever thought that Konoha and Sunigakure will not work together? Konoha and Sunigakure will not cooperate. Why are you so sure? Izuna was a little confused. Sancho Hanzo from the Land of Rain is a spoiler, and his existence is not in the interest of either Konoha or Sunigakure. Tetsuya explained. These big countries all have a problem, that is, they never take small countries seriously. Even if Sancho Hanzo and the others first defeated the Earth country and now have an advantage on the battlefield with them, they still don't care. I will put Sancho Fish Hanzo in my eyes. In their opinion, Sancho Hanzo is just a vicious dog that follows a lion to pick up food. Even though Sancho Hanzo seems to be suppressing them, they don't care. This is just like the Warring States period. Do you, the Uchiha clan and the Senju clan, care about a small ninja clan who is trying to survive between the big clans? The little ninja clan has only one choice, and that is to become a vassal of the great ninja clan. It's like Chiba became a vassal of Senju during the Warring States period. In the same way, in their view, these small countries have only one choice, and that is to become vassals of big countries like them. Izuna looked at Tetsuya and suddenly said, "If you were in our time, I think maybe the Chiba clan would not become a vassal of any ethnic group. It makes no sense for you to say that." Tetsuya smiled and shook his head before continuing. Let's bring the topic back to the Ninja World War. Whether in the eyes of Konoha or in the hearts of Sunigakure, the only thing they really care about is the other party, and they all believe that only the other party is their real competitor. After all, the conflicts and battle lines between Yugakure and them are all in the Kingdom of Rain, and the battle lines between them exist in multiple places. The losses caused by both sides due to each other are too great. It is impossible to shake hands and make peace or temporarily unite before the end of the war. It's just a Yugakure. After defeating the opponent, it can be easily eliminated by gathering strength. There is no need to worry too much. Then, according to what you said, the final trend of this war should be for Sunigakure and Konoha to decide the outcome first, and then the final winner will deal with Rain Shinobi Village, right? Yes, and Konoha will win in the end. However, it may not be easy for Konoha to defeat Sancho Hanzo head-on. Ji spoke with certainty, as if what he said would definitely happen. Izuna didn't completely believe what Tetsuya said, although Konoha is stronger than Sunigakure in terms of overall strength. Konoha has been fighting on multiple threads since the beginning of this Ninja World War, not only fighting the Kingdom of Wind and the Kingdom of Earth on the frontal battlefield, but even the Kingdom of Thunder on the side. There was also a war with Konoha. After many battles until now, a large part of Konoha's vitality has been consumed. If they really put it all together, it is still unknown who will be the final winner between Konoha and Sunigakure. In fact, according to his understanding, the most correct choice is to eliminate the troublesome guy like Sancho Hanzo first. After all, Rain Shinobi exists. Even if Sunigakure and Konoha want to decide the outcome, Rain Shinobi's interference will not be so easy to bear. What? You don't believe what I said? Seeing that Izuna didn't completely believe what he said, Tetsuya smiled. Just wait, I believe there will be news back soon. The battlefield of Rain Country, Konoha Station, another day of fighting came to an end. Rain Shinobi's attack also gradually lost its power as reinforcements arrived from Konoha from other directions. However, Konoha has never cared much about Rain Shinobi. What really caused trouble for them was Sand Shinobi's puppet army. These puppet masters hid behind the puppets and controlled the puppets to fight against Konoha's ninjas. Even if the ninjas of Konoha paid the price with their lives, it would be difficult to kill the puppet master hiding behind. Moreover, the various hidden weapons, mechanisms, and toxins on these puppet masters are difficult to guard against. Tsunade, how are you? Have you got any results from your research? The curtain of the big tent was opened and the white-haired boy Jirya walked into the tent. Inside the camp, a table was filled with bottles and cans, and Tsunade led a group of medical ninjas who were working overtime to analyze toxins. Tsunade rubbed her eyebrows, looking slightly tired. It can only be said that there is progress, but it will take time to completely crack the toxin of the old woman Chiyo. This guy actually added Sancho Hanzo's poison to the toxins in their sand-hidden village. Sancho Hanzo's toxin made the original sand. The nature of Shinobi's toxins becomes more complex. Are you okay? Seeing Tsunade's tired look, Jirya was a little worried, but when he thought that Tsunade now had a boyfriend, Jirya didn't go too far. I'm fine, I just suffered a lot from those ninjas who were poisoned and I need them to hold on for a while longer. I believe everyone can understand you. The inhibitor you developed before is still effective. Although it cannot completely detoxify, it has succeeded in delaying the onset of the poison. However, the process of waiting like that is extremely painful. As she spoke, Tsunade couldn't help but clenched her fists. How could she feel better when the toxins in her body were constantly destroying cells and organs? Even if inhibitors could temporarily inhibit the spread of toxins, they still could not reverse the effects of the toxins' harm. It is even possible that by the time he develops an antidote, those poisoned ninjas will have long since suffered from disabilities and diseases due to the erosion of the poison. Calm down, Tsunade, you have done a good job. This is not your problem. The fault is the war itself. Jirya comforted Tsunade and at the same time comforted himself. It would be great if there was no war. Why can't everyone live in peace? As he said that, he thought of the son of prophecy that great toad sage once told him. It would be great if he could find the son of prophecy. Since great toad sage said that as long as he lands the son of prophecy, he should be able to bring it to the ninja world. Come to peace. But now that things have happened, I hope this can end as soon as possible. It will not be good for anyone to continue. The war will be over soon. A hoarse voice sounded and a man with slightly pale skin walked into the camp. Orochimaru. When Tsunade saw the person coming, she immediately clenched her fists tighter. Tsunade. Orochimaru looked at Tsunade again, his eyes filled with guilt when he looked at his former partner. After all, Tsunade's brother, his favorite disciple, died while following him on a mission. For a while, the atmosphere in the camp became a little awkward. When Jirya saw this, in order to ease the awkward atmosphere, he immediately asked, Orochimaru, what did you mean when you said the war would end soon? Did you mean that the teacher has found a way to end it all quickly? Seeing Jirya hand over the steps, Orochimaru also replied, yes and no, what's the meaning? The teacher sent Sakumo to sneak into the Kingdom of Wind, intending to directly attack the Sunagakure village to cut off the supplies of the Sunagakures on the front line and force the other side to end this war. Sakumo, is it the Hadake Sakumo from the Hadake family? How many people did he bring to Sunagakure village? Orochimaru was silent for a moment before answering. One person. What? One person? Is the old man crazy? He is not asking Shumao to carry out a mission, he is asking him to die. Jirya's eyes widened in surprise. No, I have to talk to the old man. How can we let Sakumo go to the sand village alone? Going to the enemy camp alone at this time is like seeking death. It wasn't the teacher's request, it was Sakumo's own request. He asked for it? Why? Jirya was puzzled. Normally, to carry out such a mission, at least 1 or 2 ninja teams would have to be sent out. Tsunade, who had been silent all this time, answered Jirya's question. Because of Sakuya-senpai. Sakuya-senpai. Is that the Sakuya-senpai that I used to run into at the Chiba ramen restaurant? Hearing such a familiar name, Jirya also recalled such a person. Yes, Sakuya-senpai is Sakumo's older brother. He died at the hands of Sunagakure on the eve of the war. Tsunade said as she sighed and loosened her clenched fists. I think that the reason Shuamao went there alone was that he probably had no intention of coming back alive. This time he went on a mission not only to cut off the supply of Sunagakure but also to avenge Senior Sakuya. Just at this moment there was a commotion outside. Enemy attack! It's an enemy attack! The madman from the Hidden Rain village is here. Hearing the enemy attack, the 3 rushed out immediately. It was raining heavily outside and the ninjas from the Hidden Rain village followed the rain and rushed into the Konoha camp. Tsunade, Orochimaru, let's go together. Good, clear. The 3 of them rushed towards the ninjas from the Hidden Rain village together. Ninjutsu, Needle Jizo, Shadow Snake Hand, Heavenly Feet hurt. Jirya and the other 2 used their own ninjutsu to attack Rain Shinobi. Obviously, these ninjas who came to attack the Konoha camp were no match for the 3 men. However, even though these ninjas from the Hidden Rain village knew that they were no match for the three men, they still charged towards them fearlessly, shouting as they charged. "You evil Konoha ninjas, get out of our country! Evil Konoha ninja, get out of our land! Everyone, fight the evil invaders! For the land of rain, for the hidden rain!" Jiraiya was shocked as he saw the rain shinobi rushing towards them shouting loudly. In the land of wind, outside the sand village in the desert oasis, two ninjas led the team out of the village. However, in this desert with yellow sand flying all over the sky, a little white seems particularly abrupt. What is that? I don't know if everyone should be careful. In the desert, Hatake Sakumo locked onto his target and drew his short sword from his waist. A cold light flashed across the blade. Konoha White Fang is destined to become famous in the ninja world today.